Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Welcome to another edition of the Dan Patrick Show.
I watch your show every day. You stop me in my tracks.
I feel fortunate that we get to do this.
With all this downtime,
Jim Nantz, lead play-by-play voice of the Masters. He's Justin Herbert. Jack Nicklaus, who joins us on the program.
even more of the biggest and best guests.
Ernesto Johnson, Turner Sports studio host. He's Bryan Cranston. He's Al Michaels, Football Night in America, Sunday Night Football.
It's Groundhog Day. I wake up and I'm going, damn, it's the same day. It's all the same. It runs together.
Bob Costas on the line, Dan.
Hey, Bob.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Alfalfa. That was an accident, and I hit some button inadvertently. And all of a sudden, I saw myself with a 10-day growth of beard. Very disconcerting.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave.
Very, very uplifting.
This is Dan Patrick.
Hope you had a great weekend, a safe weekend. Welcome to the program. Gang's all here ready to go on this Monday. Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. Once again, Paulie's in front of me here in the Man Cave. A scaled-down staff in the Man Cave. You got Seaton, Fritzy, and McLevin at their homes. And wherever you are, however you can join us, come on in. Stay a while. Best and worst of the weekend, as we always do. A chance for you to be part of the program. 877-3DP-SHOW. Email address dp@danpatrick.com. Twitter handle at DP Show. You can listen on our great radio affiliates around the country, numbering 362. And you can watch on youtube.com/The Dan Patrick Show. Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, is going to join us. Paulie said yesterday to Fritzy, hey, because I saw that there was another report. Peter King had another report that the Dolphins are still in love with Joe Burrow, and maybe they're going to offer 4 first-round draft picks. And I said, I sent it around to everybody. And then Paulie goes, hey, why don't you see if you can get somebody? And Fritzy goes, do you want a writer from Cincinnati or Miami? And he goes, see if the owner or head coach will join us. 4 minutes later. Now, I know Paulie's just kidding because Mike Brown's not going to come on the show. And then I said, well, you know what? All right, let's see. 4 minutes later, Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, will join us coming up. And I went, wow, that's interesting. I'm shocked that he's coming on the show. I'm happy that he's coming on the show. But Zach Taylor, Bengals head coach, is there a scenario that he sees where they don't draft Joe Burrow? Have they made up their mind that they're taking? He didn't even have to tell me who they're taking. Have you made up your mind on who you're taking? So Zach Taylor, Bengals head coach, who was a pretty good quarterback at Nebraska, will join us coming up. Travis Kelce, the Chiefs tight end, will join us coming up a little bit later on. And Adam Sandler will stop by the program in the final hour of the show. All right, best and worst of the weekend, your phone calls. We're down to the final fork with Meat Madness. You have until Wednesday, and then we will crown a champ on Friday, and that winner will get a Traeger grill. With no Masters on this year, CBS aired the 2004 and 2019 tournaments over the weekend, but it was with a twist because Jim Nantz, who joined us on the program last week, was talking about Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods were going to be analysts looking back on winning the green jacket. And for a golf fan, it was a great twist. Phil and Tiger's knowledge of the game is unbelievable. Their recollection is unbelievable. You know, we talk about pitchers or hitters, and they can tell you the pitch that they threw or the pitch they hit. Golfers, same way. I could say to Jack Nicklaus, Jack, on 14, second shot into 14 in 1986 on that Sunday, and he'll tell me what club he hit. But watching Tiger, listening to Tiger and Phil do it, it was great. Because, you know, Tiger is letting you behind the curtain slowly. But I think because he's got his children, he sees the impact it has on them. It seems like he's in a good place in his life, and he's sharing a little bit more. But nothing beats the real drama of the back nine, the second nine at Augusta. And CBS did a wonderful job with that. You know, usually we come back from the weekend and we're complaining about things. We're not in that position anymore. Now, I can complain about the game of horse on ESPN. We came up with the idea. It wasn't our idea that they would have crappy internet, and the way it played out was not good. But we'll get to that in a moment. But, we're trying to find events. We're trying to be interested in things. We're looking back. At one point yesterday, you had the Masters. You had the Super Bowl with the Patriots and Giants, where the Patriots were trying to go undefeated. Of course, the David Tyree catch. And then you also had Game 7, LeBron and the Cavs at Golden State. All at once. It was great. Network TV. The Masters in Augusta are famous for azaleas and a rite of spring, but not this year. And spring is all about hope, and hopefully we'll get back to the real thing real soon. Here's Tiger Woods with Jim Nantz on the special win as a father.
The return to glory.
A year later, here we are at Augusta National. They're witnessing their father win a golf tournament in person, because they've never really witnessed me win a golf tournament in person. And on top of that, it happens to be the Masters, a major. Hadn't won a major in God knows when. And so, not in their lifetime. So now for them to see it, feel it, experience it, understand it. Now, if I would have won earlier on in their lives, they probably would never have understood it, and they probably never ever remember it. But now, because they're of age, they'll remember it for the rest of their lives, and I'm so thankful that I was able to pull it off, so that this is imprinted in the rest of their lives. That, you know what, your dad was a pretty good player at one point.
I love that maybe he has this exterior that he had to put up. It was always there. Tiger's a difficult interview because he doesn't let you in. But I think having children has softened him greatly, because then you start to see it in their eyes. His demeanor is, I'm in battle mode. I'm out there to win, to set records, to destroy. I'm going to take apart golf courses here. And then you saw him, that moment where it just breaks you down. And he was hugging his son, and then he's hugging his daughter. And then that's where you see, that's how you act. That's how you react. That's real. The rest of it, Tiger would never let us behind the curtain. But that's what's, you talk to athletes, and I certainly have over the last, 30 plus years of doing this, their children miss a lot of their great moments. And, some of these athletes, Tom Brady, to have his children be able to see him in a Super Bowl is extremely important. Drew Brees, when he had his son with him with the headphones on after they won the Super Bowl, and, he's holding him up. Like those moments. Nick Foles with his daughter in his arms, and granted, she was really young, maybe one year old, but to have those moments to share with your children. Golfers get the advantage of they can play. They can play into their 50s. They can play into their 60s. But these moments, Tiger's window where he was the most dominating athlete in all the sports, his children were not born then. And now you get to see that, where that's dad out there. Everybody's cheering for him. And he just won another green jacket. That's really what hit me when I watched this. And Phil Mickelson was great too, with his recollection of 2004. It was well done by CBS and Jim Nantz. And to have them look back on what they were thinking in that moment, that's what's great. And Joe LaCava, Tiger's caddy, was a star as well. He was interviewed, and, he helped Freddie Couples win the Masters back in, I think, 1992 or 1994. That's where you get that insight that's really special. Because these guys are buttoned up. Certainly Tiger is. And in the middle of a round, what are you thinking? What do you hear? Hitting a club. Tony Finau hit a 9. Wait, he hit a 9? What am I going to hit? Should I hit a 7 or 8? You got to jump on that 8. So here's Tiger wait, he hit a 9. I'm Tiger. No, you're not hitting a 9. You jump on that 8. And then he hit a brilliant shot at 16. Those were just fun. It really was. It was fun to see. To watch, the Cavaliers, beat Golden State. That was LeBron's block on Andre Iguodala, which, when you talk about great players, and if you said the 5 best plays of their career, how many of these great NBA players have a defensive play? Jordan does. He's not given credit for the steal on Karl Malone. But that set up the shot. And then LeBron's block on Iguodala is one of the great plays in NBA history, certainly in postseason history, and what it led to. But watching LeBron and seeing that, you sometimes forget these are two-way players. I always like when somebody says, this guy, all he can do is score. And I wonder, did anybody say, all Picasso can do is paint? Because really, that's what it comes down to. Like, we forget sometimes, he's not an all-around player, That's all he can do is score. Yeah, but these guys, it's different. LeBron, Mike, they did incredible things. Even Kareem was, underrated as a defender. We don't think of him as a defender. But watching that, you just realize that's a great play. It's an unbelievable play by LeBron. But it was a fun weekend. And then you're watching the Patriots and the Giants. So here we are, 2008 Super Bowl. And there's two moments where if the Patriots, react quicker, like a split second quicker, or, they hold on to the football, they go undefeated. And then when Eli could have thrown 2 interceptions in the final 2 minutes. And then he sees Ellis Hobbs on Plexico Burress, and then he wants that ball snapped. He's like, come on. And all of a sudden, Plexico at 6'5", and Ellis Hobbs at 5'9". It was like, it's over. It is over. And Rodney Harrison told this story to me that he was going to blitz. Like he said to Teddy Bruschi, they were going to change their defensive strategy. And he was like, should we blitz? And then they didn't. And then Eli throws, the touchdown. But those moments, what happened, that's all you needed to see, really, was the final 2 minutes there, 5 minutes, really. And that was really, really special. And then I was handing out the trophy to Eli. That's when Eli didn't want the car keys to a black-on-black Corvette. And he had a Toyota deal. Here's your key. And he wasn't even on the podium. He left the podium. I talked to Peyton Manning over the weekend. I was on a Zoom call with him.
Oh, you buried the lead.
Oh, no, that's I was on. Somehow I got roped into this. I'm sitting in my bar watching 8 Mile.
The usual.
Yeah. So I got a cigar, some tequila. It's 7:30 at night. Darius Rucker says, hey, what are you doing? And I said, I'm sitting watching 8 Mile, having a cigar, having some tequila. He goes, get on this. And he sends me a link to the Zoom. And I think it's him and maybe some of the other guys from Hootie and the Blowfish. So I'm like, hey. And then Peyton Manning goes, Dan Patrick's, one of the great sportscasters. I'm going, wait a minute. And then Brad Paisley jumps in, and I go, wait, what did I just walk into here? I guess Peyton had set this up with Tennessee volunteer football players, and then it was, who can you get on the phone? And Brad Paisley was on, and then Darius got a hold of me, and I went, oh, my God, wait. I'm supposed to be I'm Darius's good friend. And Darius goes, I couldn't get Tiger on the phone, so I called you. And I said, that's good. So then Tiger texted him back later in the evening, and he laughed that I was the second choice to him. And he laughed that, Darius had reached out to me. But I told Peyton that story. I said, Eli didn't want that Corvette in that moment. He goes, oh, he's still got that Corvette. He still has. I said, yeah, he should. That was a beautiful car. All righty. That's enough of my weekend there. Fun weekend. I don't know if you got on a Zoom call. No, I got on one with Darius and company. And then my family. Zoom is good. Here's the problem with Zoom. When one person talks, it would be like if the Danettes all started talking at the same time, and then you're going, I was going to ask you, and then you're going, and then you stop, and then, so I just said to everybody, just point. How about somebody points, and then we can go. You're trying to get people, and then, somebody's internet connection going, it's a mess. It was great, but it was a mess there. But Zoom. And by the way, I don't know what Trey Young was using for his phone, because that connection or lack thereof. I mean, I rather would have had a artist rendition of what he was doing, have somebody like drawing it, because it would have been clearer than what he had with the game of horse. But all right, we'll come up with a poll question, stat of the day, play of the day, all that coming up. Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, Travis Kelce, and then Adam Sandler will join us coming up a little bit later on as well. What do you have for me, McLovin?
Well, I just want to say I was on a Zoom call with Dan Marino and Kate Bear.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, you buried like the lead immediately. That's the first thing you have to tell us on Monday morning at 9:02. That is an awesome story that you're down.
I didn't want to be on a Zoom call with all those guys. I didn't know who they were, except for Brad Paisley, Peyton, and Darius, and then there were a bunch of Tennessee Volunteers. And they were interrupting me. It was right at the very end of 8 Mile.
I was on with Aunt Esther and Billy in Framingham, Mass. All right, poll question topic idea.
All right.
Off Tiger doing the analysis on Sunday. Did Tiger win so many Masters because of his physical talent or because of his intellect? Or is there another factor?
Well, that is, of course, that the more you play it, the better you play it. That is local knowledge. I think Tiger, it doesn't matter what course he would play back then. Even now, he says he's peaking right now, which is kind of scary. But I think local knowledge is important. That's why a lot of golfers would hire local caddies, because of their knowledge of those greens and the winds there. But, I don't want to diminish anything Tiger said by using, he was great no matter what. Other players who have won it, then, maybe it is the intellect, but Tiger's the combo platter.
Okay. I have a football question for our upcoming guests.
Okay.
Which would surprise you the most? Which team winning the Super Bowl in the next 10 years? If I gave you the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions, and I'm going to throw in the New York Jets and any other team you'd like.
All the above. All the above.
Is there one team on there that you're hopeful about?
Well, I'd like for the Bengals to win one. They've been to 2, and they lost to Joe Montana, the Niners, in both of those. Detroit would be a great story. Cleveland's won football championships. They just won them, pre-Super Bowl. The Jets. Probably Detroit, because I never look at Detroit as scary, threatening. The Jets at least have been decent in our lifetime. Yeah, they went to 2 AFC title games. The Browns would be a great story. All right, what else do you have?
Well, what if I just gave you the Browns and the Bengals? Who's closer?
Who's closer? The Browns are.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Browns are a playoff team this year. No, the Browns. No, the Browns are a playoff team. The Browns.
Really?
Yeah.
This conversation sounds familiar. Reminds me of last August.
No, you didn't hear me say that. I told you they weren't a playoff team.
Yes.
I was in the minority. I said, I don't know why. They had people having them going to the AFC title game. I said, they're not going to the playoffs. What else?
What changed?
You said more likely they don't make the playoffs and go deep into playoffs. We did a poll on that.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
But now you think they are. So what's changed? Just a year older for Baker Mayfield?
Well, they're gonna get smarter, I think, and having a new head coach. 1 year in this system with everybody. You try to throw Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham in there and just say, hey, make it work. You need offensive linemen. That's the key. They have skill. They need offensive linemen. But I think the Browns are going to make the playoffs. Yes, Todd.
Who goes further, Browns or Tom Brady's Bucks this year?
Hot.
Well, Brady's making the playoffs, too. How do we stand with the Tampa Bay T-shirt situation? Any lawsuits? Cease and desist? I had Dylan check the mail. We did not get a cease and desist from Tom Brady's lawyers yet.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Darren Ravel said we had a good 3 to 6 months, right? So let's let it roll.
All right. So we have until maybe the start of the season. Or into the season. Yeah, Paul.
All goes well.
It's going to be tough to be served papers if we're all at home, sitting at home. No, there's no way those guys can serve you. They throw them to you, and once they make contact with your hand, you've been served. They can't get to us.
Yeah, but they can drop it off at the man cave.
You just don't accept it.
Yeah, but Dylan's not smart. He's going to go to the door and go, what do you got there? Got a cease and desist. All right, I'll take it. This program brought to you by LegalZoom. LegalZoom has made it easy to set up the right estate plan without leaving your home. Take care of your family today with the right estate plan at LegalZoom.com. Phone calls are welcome. Best and worst of the weekend. We'll give you hours coming up in a little bit. We'll return with the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Do they know who they're taking? And is there a scenario where they see maybe they won't take Joe Burrow? We'll try to get answers after this in the Dan Patrick Show. As if working from home doesn't present enough challenges, cybersecurity experts are warning people to be extra vigilant. They've seen a 15 to 20% increase in overall hacking incidents. At home, less likely you're protected by corporate software than that scans for signs of danger. It's important to understand how cybercrime is affecting our lives. Identity theft is another serious issue. Someone's identity is stolen every 2 seconds, and you could miss certain identity threats if you're only monitoring your credit. And that's why it's great we have LifeLock. LifeLock detects a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. If they're detected, your information will be sending you an alert. And keep in mind, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. LifeLock can use threats you might miss on your own. So join now. Save up to 25% off on your first year using the promo code Patrick. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head to LifeLock.com. Promo code Patrick for 25% off. You played Hold My Hand?
Every night in my concert. I play it every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know. With a little love and some tenderness, we'll walk upon the water, rise above the mess with some peace and some harmony. We'll take the world together. We'll grab them by the hand, 'cause I got a hand for you. I wanna run with you. Yesterday, I saw you standing there. Your head was down, your eyes were red. No comb and touch your hair. I said, get up. Let me see you smile. Take a walk together. Walk the road a while, 'cause I got a hand for you, yeah. I wanna run with you. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. I wanna love you. The best that I can. You know, hold my hand.
Guys, welcome back from the weekend. A lot of couch time. I got a hot new game I'm going to play today, Dan. It's called What'd She Mean by That? Seton, do you have the music? What'd she mean by that? So this is where you take something your wife says to you at home during the weekend and let the other guys on the show break it down.
Oh, dear.
So as always, I spent most of my weekend shopping online for pickup trucks endlessly, and I looked at this truck. I'm like, man, I really like this truck. And it was like a two-tone brown and tan, if that could be, if those are two different colors. And I go, baby, what do you think of this truck? She goes, that's you. That's you.
Okay.
I think she was insulting me. Yes or no, guys? That truck is very you, she said. She didn't say whether she liked it. I said, do you like this truck? I said, do you like this truck? She said, that's very you. I think she was insulting me. Dan?
Well, I can only go from the experience of my mom, who would say to my wife, that looks good on you.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Jesus.
And so we'd always cringe when my mom would say that to my wife. That looks good on you.
Oh.
So I'm going to guess maybe there was a dig.
It's a dig. Guys, what do you think?
A little bit.
I think that was a bit of a diss because she's basically saying, with your taste in trucks and things, which is very different than most of the world, that would work for you, but an average person would totally stay away from that truck.
Anyone see any positivity there?
I absolutely do. I think you're looking at this the wrong way. It's not about the truck or that it's very you or the insult. It's that she didn't say no.
Oh.
Like, oh, really? So what is that, like your 5th truck this year that you're buying, or like just bought this other one 6 months ago?
I think
and now you're trading that one in.
I think that's a good point because she didn't say no.
She didn't say no. She didn't say like really.
Like it could be worse. Oh, that's you, but you're not getting it.
She has no fight left in that category.
Yeah,
Andrew, what do you think?
I feel like it's like she's saying that's you, like I've given up on life kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's too
Oh, wow.
Like that's you. Okay. That's all you.
Oh.
I think Andrew may have nailed it. That's our game called. What's she mean by that?
Best and worst of the weekend. Your phone calls coming up. Meat Madness, the Final Four. Glenn in Michigan, Brandon in Ohio, Angel in Florida, and Matt in Oklahoma. We'll have our Hebrew National Championship. That'll be coming up on Friday as we hand out a Traeger grill. Phone calls are coming up, and we'll talk to Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach. By the way, Fritzy every day does his scoreboard competition. Today's numbers are 1 and 11. If you figure that out, thank you, Todd. 1 and 11. And if you figure that out, we have some DP show gear to send out. It's more of you won the contest, not what you win when you win the contest. But, Todd, do you want to give any hints here?
Oh, a hint. Okay. It has
Well,
to
wait,
do
you're
with
not good with hints because then you end up giving up too much. Let's hold off on your hint. Because I get a strong feeling that you might give too much of a hint.
Really?
Yeah, too much of a hint. Well, we can try it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, 1 and 11 has to do with animals.
1 in 11 animals. Okay.
That's all you get.
All right. Okay, that's good. Go to the website, and if you've figured it out, first one to figure it out wins some DP show gear. We going to settle on a poll question, McLevin?
At some point, yes. I got another NFL one if you want it, or we could save it.
We'll save that.
Okay.
Let's bring in the Bengals head coach, Zach Taylor, joins us on the program. Coach, good morning. Where are you right now?
I'm upstairs in my house.
Is that where you're going to be draft night?
It is. Yeah, I got a decent setup here where I can deadbolt the door and keep my 4 kids at bay.
Have you? Oh, good luck with that. Have you guys done a rehearsal draft yet?
Yeah, we not quite a full rehearsal yet, but we feel comfortable with where we're headed. You know, we kind of get new memos every day from the league on what it's going to look like, and I think as this week goes, we'll have a great feel for what it's all going to look like and iron out all the kinks. What's your biggest concern? You know, for us, I really don't have one, Dan, to be honest with you. We get to pick the first pick of 3 of the first 4 rounds, where it's a new day, so to speak, you know, to where we get 18 hours to figure it all out and decide who we're going to pick. So I don't think we'll quite face the challenges that everybody else is going to face just for that reason. Of all the years for this to happen, it's kind of set up well for us. Obviously, in the later rounds, we'll be on the clock, and you got to sort it all out. But we got a very flexible crew who can adapt to really any of the challenges that come forth. And we've been using a lot of different forms of communication here over the last 3 weeks and haven't had any problems so far. Has the Bengals organization decided on who you're taking number 1 overall? I think we're really comfortable with the direction we're headed. I'm not quite ready to make any major announcements yet, but I think we've done our homework here the last 3 or 4 months and kind of vetted all these guys out and feel really comfortable with the direction we're headed. Is there a scenario where you would change who you're taking? It doesn't look that way. You know, I think if there's a guy there that you believe in that can really change the franchise over the next 10, 15 years, then that's a hard thing to pass up on. And, people all the time ask me what would it take to give up that pick. And if there's somebody there that people are willing to give up a lot for, that they believe in, then that really verifies what we think about those players as well. So excited to see how it all shakes out next week.
How much of a separation do you think there is in abilities between Joe Burrow and the rest of the quarterback candidates?
Well, I think you study them all, they've all done things to put themselves in that conversation for number one. So sometimes beauty can be in the eye of the beholder a little bit. Some people may think of one guy differently than another. They've all won a lot of football games and put themselves in contention to play for championships. And the biggest thing about all those guys is they made those around them better. And I think that's a key attribute for any quarterback is does he raise the level of play of everybody around him? And you see those guys, they got the most out of. Some of them had great talent around them, and they got the most out of them. And so credit to all those guys for putting themselves in this conversation.
How does being a former quarterback help in this process?
It makes it fun, because you can see some of the situations these guys have been in that maybe you've been in before. And I've always enjoyed watching quarterbacks more so than a lot of the different positions just because of the fact that I played that position. So it's fun talking to them, asking how their brain works a little bit, talking to other players about them. And it's been a really fun process over the last 3 to 4 months, learning about what makes all these guys tick. What's the number one characteristic, number one trait that you have to have in your quarterback? That he's a winner. You want guys that are used to winning, know how to win, know what it takes, and most importantly, knows what the standard looks like. And oftentimes guys come in, they have a lot of talent. There's no question about that, but they might not know what it looks like and what it takes to be great. And so you want that guy that's going to come in and raise the standard of everybody around them and say that losing is unacceptable. We're not going to endure another year like we had last year, and make sure that everyone gets the most out of their abilities. And that's the number one trait you got to have. What's Andy Dalton's future with the team? Well, still under contract. And so, I always like to say that all options are on the table because they truly are. But Andy's meant a lot to me personally, meant a lot to this franchise over the time he's been here, and he's just gone about his business the right way. And so, again, we're just trying to make the best decision for the club right now, and we've got some more time to make that decision. It's a nice insurance plan if you have him there. It just feels like that's the new game plan, Zach, where you have a quarterback, but you have to have a legitimate backup quarterback as well. I think it's worked both ways. I've seen some teams have a lot of success with veterans back there and some that maybe have younger guys. And so, it's all about what the organizational approach is. And we feel like we got great quarterback coaches in the building as well. A lot of guys who spent some time around some really good ones. But again, if Andy's still around, then that's a great setup to have for us. Talking to Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, former Nebraska quarterback. Can you believe Nebraska didn't recruit Joe Burrow? I'm going to stay out of that one, Dan. He's a great football player. Wait, he told me that. He didn't get recruited. He was heartbroken. I won't dispute it, but I'm not going to wade into those waters. Nebraska's near and dear to my heart. So I think it's fortunate for everybody he ended up at LSU. They're very happy. He's very happy. Wait, how did you end up in Lincoln? You grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, didn't you? I did. My dad played. Yeah, I was Sooner born and Sooner bred. And my dad played there and was a captain there. I wasn't very good coming out of high school, Dan. I went to Wake Forest for 2 years, then I went to a junior college, and then Bill Callahan came in and recruited me. He was kind of going from an option offense to a West Coast offense, and I happened to be the guy there in the junior college ranks that he thought could help him, and just very fortunate how it worked out. I'm watching the YouTube clips. You look pretty good. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. No, nobody needs to see that stuff. They're standard definition. You're the Big 12 Player of the Year, I think, Offensive Player of the Year. Do your players, have they seen this stuff? They don't need to. We try to make sure that stuff's hidden. And I've gone through some YouTube conversations trying to get that removed from the internet, but so far I haven't had any luck with that. How many guys on the roster could you beat in a 40-yard dash? 0. That's a fact. 0. I think most of our linemen, don't look up the combine times, but I did not break 5 flat on 40. So there's not many guys I'm going to be, especially now 15 years later, there's very little chance I'm going to be able to do that. How nervous are you going into this draft? Excited. No nerves. We've we got a great scouting department. Duke Tobin, those guys have done a great job getting the coaches aligned with where we need to head. And you put in all the work for 3 months. It's like getting ready for the season. You're prepared for it. You can't wait to see how it all shakes out. But again, we continue to have great conversations. Even this week, still we've got some more to be had to sort it all out. But it's going to be exciting, and not only for us, but I think for a lot of people that get a chance to look forward to watching something on TV and some sort of competitive event, I guess you could say. But I'm excited for it.
Have you been told by the NFL to not reveal who you guys are taking?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think that's just a decision we've made, to, again, just use all the time we got, and there's no reason to do otherwise. But again, we feel very comfortable with the direction we're headed right now.
No, to get Joe Burrow it makes all the sense in the world. You got to get that quarterback. You got to get that rookie deal. So you got 4 or 5 years to play with the salary cap. I get that. And, Cincinnati's developed very good quarterbacks, through the years. So I get it. I know people keep saying, well, he's an Ohio guy. He's not a Cincinnati guy. Athens is a long ways away from Cincinnati there. But, when I met him, he was very impressive, Zach. That's a guy who is confident and overly confident, I thought. But I think in a good way. It feels like guys follow him.
He's got a great edge to him. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
You can talk about confidence and all that stuff with quarterbacks, but he's one of those guys that put in the work, and so he's got the confidence in his abilities because there's not a lot of unknown out there for him. When guys put in the work and they're ready for the moment's not too big for him. And, we've got to know him. We've got to know a lot of the guys that are in this conversation over the last couple of weeks as we've really maxed out that time talking to him. And so it's, again, we feel comfortable with all those guys there at the top.
Do you have his jersey already made up?
I don't have any jerseys made up on anybody right now.
Okay, I'm just curious. Any changes to the uniforms this year?
I think there's always little adaptations, but sometimes those things come across my desk after the draft. It's not something I spend too much time worried about right now. Well,
you're an advisor. Is that what you are? I can be an advisor for you. I know fashion.
I can be a lot of things. Fashion is not something that I usually like to stick my nose into. Some people feel certainly a lot very strongly about certain things when it comes to jerseys and helmets, and that's not something I've always really involved myself in.
Well, it's like Brady, we're going to be seeing him in a Tampa Bay jersey. Like, that's going to be there's certain things where you go, I'd never thought, like, I'd see Larry Bird in a different uniform or Magic Johnson, and just certain things, and then all of a sudden Brady's going to trot out in that Tampa uniform. Weren't you a Buccaneer for a couple of weeks?
For a couple of weeks, that's the right way to put it. I had my rookie minicamp debut. Probably it must not have gone very well because a couple weeks later I got that phone call and was told to unpack my bag. I was literally packing my bags to go to training camp. I was zipping up that last zip. I just taken engagement pictures with my wife. It was a great day. I was zipping the last bag. They were about to drive me to the airport, and I got the phone call saying, "Hey, we're going to release you." So I had to trot back down the stairs and let everybody know what happened. So that was a tough one, but I think I got the most out of my abilities. I wasn't an NFL football player, and can be very happy with the career I had.
But your wife wasn't marrying you because you were going to be a star football player in the NFL. Like that, it didn't.
I don't think we'll ever know. We've gotten far enough down the road where maybe it was too late to turn back. We were already engaged.
And now 4 kids. How old are these kids?
Yeah. My boys are 9 and 7, and my girls are 3 and 1. And I'm very grateful right now that they're not in school because my 9-year-old, he's all caught up in this stuff. And so he comes up here and we'll watch tape as I'm watching some college guys. And I know that I cannot trust him at this point. If he'd gone to school and was talking about guys we're taking, there's no trust factor there with the 9-year-old. So fortunately, we got him quarantined in the house, and he doesn't quite have the ability to communicate with his friends. So I feel very, very safe with that information not getting out.
That's who I should have had on, the 9-year-old. He'd tell me what's going on.
There's no question. You'd get it all.
Well, have fun, Zach. And it could be one of those moments where we look back 10 years from now and say, the Bengals turned things around by this draft. So good luck with it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Having me on, Dan. Thanks a lot.
That's Zach Taylor, Bengals head coach. All right, so there's no scenario in which they're going to change who they're taking. Well, here's the thing. Because if you know who you're taking, then let's say they wanted Justin Herbert. Well, that is going to then be predicated on what are the Dolphins giving them. That's all. You can take Justin Herbert number 1 overall, but you'd be crazy to just go, I'm going to take him without getting all those draft picks from the Miami Dolphins. So they're going to take Joe Burrow. It makes the most sense to take Joe Burrow. I think the Dolphins would be crazy to give up 4 number 1 picks, but if you really want somebody, then you got to go all in here. But the Bengals, if this is their quarterback, if Joe Burrow is that much better and less of a risk than the other quarterbacks, then take him. That's it. Just take him. The 4 number 1 picks, if I'm the Bengals, I would do that. If I think Justin Herbert or Tua Tagovailoa is anywhere near Joe Burrow, then I would take that. Because I think if you have 4 first-round picks, whether it's 3 this year and 1 next year, you're able to look at the franchises who have done this. The Steelers did it. The Niners did it. The Cowboys did it, where they had drafts where it changed the entire organization. But you have to have a good draft group. Like, you have to have smart people making smart picks. Like, the amazing part with the Patriots, they don't draft well. When's the last time they drafted an all-pro player? When's the last time? Because they don't do that. Imagine if they drafted well. We'll take a break. Your phone calls, best and worst of the weekend, and play of the day, great play of the day coming up. Right after this, Dan Patrick Show.
So,
guys, we continue looking at our households and what we have in our households, and we have a bonus coverage. Seton, what do you have at home?
I have what I would call as a morale boost for Dan and no one else.
Puppies?
No, not puppies, actually. Better. Something that's going to make you even
Tequila.
happier. As I think most of us are doing, we're cleaning out rooms in our house, and we're going through the basement and all of that stuff, and I came across an absolute gem.
Okay.
You can now have a duet.
You didn't give me a heads up. I don't even know where my accordion is. Are you kidding? Wait, I gotta find it. Keep playing.
Okay, I'll hold it down.
Oh no!
Thank God we have the ability to mute from home.
I don't know how he actually makes it sound like that. I saw this thing. I was like, oh my God, Dan's going to be so happy. Thank you. First ever accordion duet on the Dan Patrick Show.
According to the tweets we're getting, you guys should probably stop playing that as soon as...
Oh!
Honk!
Accordion to sources, we should stop playing.
There it is.
Yeah.
Wait, did you just say...
So how do you even open a record store? Like, did you just have a ton of records? And then how do you collect all of these? How do you get them together?
You know, like everything, you buy a load and you put your sign out and you're like, boom, I'm a record store.
Yeah. I imagine it's a tough business to run.
It's kind of one of those edge-built businesses where you have to like start.
Yeah.
And then it takes you 2 years to break even. So you just kind of hold on to all your for 2 years, and hopefully you're doing well.
The Midwest is interesting because it doesn't have necessarily one sound that it's famous for.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
I totally disagree.
Really?
Well, there's the Minneapolis sound. That's Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. This is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis as kids.
Dang.
I mean, Prince, all of the funk that came out of there. Purple Snow. It's all Prince's contemporaries. It is very much the sound.
It's crazy how just a couple of people can shape, city for years and years to come.
Of course. Then there's Minneapolis punk. It's the Replacements.
Yeah.
It's Husker Du. There's Bob Dylan.
Yeah, right. Bob Dylan.
He's ours.
There's an upstairs?
Yep.
You want to show me?
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, this is a lot of records.
Yeah.
I feel like the real purpose of a record store, though, isn't necessarily just to get music to people, but to build a music scene and a community of people.
Oh, totally, yeah. What I love it up here, people will be going through, and somebody will be like, oh, man, Wham!
Yeah.
And somebody will be like, Wham, you want that one? I'm like, oh, all of a sudden there'll be like 12 people fighting for one record.
All right, dude. Well, I got a lot to learn here about Minneapolis funk. This is a good start right here?
It's a good start.
All right. Well, thanks again, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, good seeing you, Raul.
Oh my God.
The play of the day.
Runner left side, got it! They're gonna play it and play it.
This is the play of the day. Check this out.
Lakers will get a chance to take the lead, and look who has the ball. With half a minute to play, Bryant for the lead. Yes! Kobe Bryant gives the Lakers the lead.
I tell you something. This is, he was legendary before this game. This takes it to an absolute another level.
On this day 4 years ago, Lakers down by as many as 12 in that fourth quarter. Kobe scored 11 in the final minute, 45 seconds. He ended up with 60. It's courtesy of Sportsnet LA and Maroon 5 with Memories. I remember watching the game, and Mike Tirico came on, and he and Hubie Brown were talking about how long was Kobe going to play. Like, what could you reasonably expect out of Kobe? And I think they were sort of downplaying what Kobe was going to do that night. Was it going to be just one of those, hey, I'm going to go out and it's, kind of ceremonial final game? But knowing Kobe, he'd never mailed in anything. Like, everything was a competition to him. And he wanted to dominate. He wanted to be great in any game. And that last game, and he came out firing. And I was like, my guy's going for a big number tonight. And I thought, maybe 50. And then all of a sudden, he takes the jumper and they ends up with 60. And, that's Kobe. It's Kobe for you. That second half, that's where you get going. And then you don't want to come out. You're done with it. Hey, whatever happens. It's my last game. No matter what happens, you want to make sure that your loved ones are taken care of. That's why LegalZoom has made it easy to set up the right estate plan without leaving your home. Take care of your family today with the right estate plan at LegalZoom.com. Yes, Paulie?
I was watching the Kobe 60-point game on vacation with my wife in the hotel bar at the resort we're staying at. And the hotel bars sometimes don't stay open later. And there's about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the hotel bar guy goes, all right, we're shutting down, and he starts to turn off the TV. People were about to crush this guy. Like, no, you're not shutting anything down. Leave the TV on. Just put some beer on the table. We're not leaving.
Pretty amazing. He scored 60 of the 101 points in his final game at Staples. All right, we'll get some phone calls in here. I just saw this sad news. The ex-Seattle Seahawk quarterback Tavares Jackson died last night in a car accident in Alabama. He was the quarterback's coach at Tennessee State. Tavares Jackson was 36. He played for the Vikings, Bills, and Seahawks. Tavares Jackson dead at the age of 36. Phone calls, best and worst of the weekend. We'll start with Jonathan in Florida. Hi, Jonathan. What do you have for me today?
What's up, DP?
Hey, bud.
Best and worst. Best, my son turned 5 today, so we got to celebrate on Saturday with some cake and some presents, and introduced my wife to Mango Kart. She loves it. She's a huge fan. Then on Saturday night, I didn't do Zoom, but there's this house party app you do with your friends and stuff. You can play games and stuff real time. And that kind of leads into my worst, which the next day I kind of got into gin a little bit and had to wake up and put together my son's Power Wheels. And that was a little rough out in the 80-degree weather, but felt like 90. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's like on Christmas if you could pay extra to get something assembled for you, I always did. But my wife is one of those that says, hey, we can do it. We can try. And I go, no. Well, yeah, hey, we can assemble the bike. No. Pay $50. Pay Santa's helpers to put it together for us. No, we don't need to do this. You don't get extra credit, extra points if you put things together. Reno in Indiana joins us. Hey, Reno.
All right, 5'11", 160. I've actually got 2 bests. Taking a nice kayak ride yesterday with my wife. And second best for hopefully an extra 5 seconds of soccer talk with Paulie, the English Game on Netflix. Great show. FA Cup back in the 1880s. Amazing show.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you, Reno. I've been watching Sunderland Till I Die. Second season. Really well done. It's even if you're not a soccer fan, this is all about relationships and the drama. And when you see Sunderland fans, that's a college football atmosphere. That is a special fan base there. And they don't put up with any nonsense. Really, really well done. Really well done. Let me see. McLevin, why do you have a coat on?
So there's like something happening weather-wise here in Brooklyn. I don't know, it's quite hurricane winds, but things are flying right in front of my window everywhere, and it's raining and leaking everywhere. We have huge weather here. Have you guys gotten it yet?
Well, no, it would start with you and then move its way up the coast.
Yeah, so every break I have to run out on deck and tie things down, and I'm terrible at it. We have a deck outside, and it's a disaster right now.
You want to take your computer out and show us what it looks like?
Well, actually, I could turn my computer around right now.
Okay.
And you can see it, I believe.
Okay.
See how this works.
Is
I'm going to have to lose.
Is this like Wizard of Oz type winds?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There's McLevin turning it.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Wow.
All the deck stuff is blown over.
And you have to go out there and tie stuff down so it doesn't blow away?
Yeah, I do my best, but I'm like I said, I'm not very good at this kind of thing. This is like a Paulie Seaton kind of expertise. That's why I live in the city, so I don't have to do stuff like this.
All right. Thoughts and prayers, McLevin. Thoughts and prayers. Adam Sandler will join us in the final hour of the program, and Travis Kelce on loan from the Kansas City Chiefs. More phone calls. We will give you our best and worst of the weekend coming up. I don't know if we settled on a poll question, but we'll try to do that coming up in a couple of minutes here. Dan and the Danettes on this Monday. Dan Patrick Show. starts. It starts and then it becomes a mushroom cloud. Every time I do this with you, I just try to put it in context. I'm not rooting against you.
I would never suggest that you rooting against
and if you do well at
Paulie,
Carolina,
I would love to see
Paulie would root against you. I think you have to go in without anybody knowing where you're going to go.
I need to challenge myself a little bit more.
Well, are you curious how, like, just the regular audience is going to react to?
I'm very curious, but there's an argument to be made. Is everybody rooting for me to do well, or is there something here more than a curiosity? Is there some kind of, like, not to root for me to fall flat on my face, but to prove, like, if it's not a Dan Patrick Show sanctioned event where they know Fritzy and they know the show, can you really make a group of people laugh, especially on a grand stage like Carolina?
But don't you want to know if it's real or not?
I do. I'd like to think that the laughs at Super Bowl week were genuine, but now
they weren't.
They weren't.
They were not.
So no matter what I said, they were either instructed to or because of the
nobody's
popularity of the show.
Now. No, see, this is where you get defensive.
I do get a little defensive.
But it wasn't a real audience because there
was real people there.
They wanted you to do well.
Yeah.
They wanted to laugh with you.
Did you hear? I can't tell. Maybe sometimes the difference between fake laughter and genuine chuckles. My ego would not let me believe that there was anything fake about the reaction to the material.
Not fake. It's just it was sort of set up that they were going in there because they're going to go see you and they wanted you to do well.
Was there anything behind me that said, like laugh or applause like they have when they're for those sitcoms?
Here we go again.
No, but maybe there was.
That's not true.
I'm not being a wise guy.
No, yeah, you are.
No, but sometimes when they're shooting these things, like if they want to make a mini HBO or Showtime special out of it.
Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Welcome to another edition of the Dan Patrick Show.
I watch your show every day. You stop me in my tracks.
I feel fortunate that we get to do this.
With all this downtime.
Jim Nantz, lead play-by-play voice of the Masters. He's Justin Herbert. Jack Nicklaus, who joins us on the program.
Even more of the biggest and best guests.
Ernesto Johnson, Turner Sports studio host. He's Brian Cranston. He's Al Michaels, Football Night in America, Sunday Night Football.
It's Groundhog Day. I wake up and I'm going, damn, it's the same day. It's all the same. It runs together. And
Bob Costas on the line, Dan.
Hey, Bob.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Alfalfa. That was an accident. And I hit some button inadvertently. And all of a sudden, I saw myself with a 10-day growth of beard. Very disconcerting.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave.
Very, very uplifting.
This is Dan Patrick.
Hope you had a safe weekend, everybody. Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. First hour, we spent some time with the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor. He says the team knows who they're going to take. I said, is there a scenario where you wouldn't be taking that player? And he said no, doesn't see that. But that's the way you need to approach this. If the Dolphins do want Joe Burrow and want to go up and get him, and they want to give you 4 first-round draft picks, if I'm the Bengals, I'm certainly listening. And if you feel like Justin Herbert or Tua Tagovailoa is a pretty good consolation prize with one of those draft picks, then maybe you make that move. But it feels like Zach Taylor, former quarterback, and you get Joe Burrow, that's where you can exhale. If you're a coach, a GM, an owner, you get your quarterback. That's the most important position in all of sports. I got my quarterback. Now we start to build out here. And look at these organizations. You know, the Giants have their quarterback. The Redskins don't know if they have their quarterback. Arizona has their quarterback. Houston, Kansas City, they have their quarterbacks. The Bears don't have their quarterback. And just that uncertainty, all of those teams that I mentioned, if I said, would you be buying stock in Arizona or Chicago, you would take Arizona right now. DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald for another year. They improved greatly. They're going to be a fun team to watch there. Chicago, you're not quite sure. So much so, you brought in Nick Foles. That uncertainty, you know, even the Detroit Lions are like an outlier because you do have Matthew Stafford, who has been a very good quarterback, but you haven't been able to do anything with Matthew Stafford. That's why I thought Detroit, you know, you're going to eat some money there, but are you going to be saving money in the long haul with Tua Tagovailoa? Like, you have the 3rd pick in the draft. Are you considering Tua Tagovailoa? I would. It's not an ideal situation, but I would have him sit for 1 year, and then I might look at moving Matthew Stafford and then see what you could get for Matthew Stafford. I don't know what he would bring on the open market, but if I could get maybe a couple of number ones for Matthew Stafford, now I know the back has been an issue, but those are the things where you have to get creative because they have a franchise quarterback. They haven't done much with him. These other teams, when you have that young quarterback, you know, Dallas has their young quarterback. You know, the question is now, what is he going to cost you? Because you didn't win a Super Bowl in those first, 3 years with Dak Prescott with that contract. Now he's going to get $35 million a year. To get that quarterback and then build, and you have 4-year window where he's not making $150 to $200 million. That's when you can build a franchise. And Kansas City is going to pay the price with this eventually. There's going to be players who don't stay on the roster because they won't be able to afford them because Patrick Mahomes is going to get $40 million a year. Travis Kelce, the Chiefs tight end, will join us coming up. Adam Sandler will stop by as well. The NBA is working on a plan to play, and I don't fault them for doing this. I don't like time frames. I don't like a timetable. This is a plan in case we play, and I applaud that. I don't want a time frame attached to this. And this is where Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State put his foot in his mouth. Hey, we're coming back May 1st. No, you're not. No, you're not. Hey, we're going to be playing baseball. No, you're not. You don't need a time frame. I need a game plan, not a time frame. That's it. When we come back, this is how we're going to do it. You know, the PGA with golf, you didn't say, hey, we're coming back right now, which I think golf could still do this. But, the Masters has been pushed back, U.S. Open, the British Open canceled. It feels like they have an understanding of what they're doing and what the time frame is. But that's just the majors. I don't know when they come back to play like the John Deere Classic. By the way, the stuff over the weekend on CBS with Tiger and Phil was really wonderful. In particular, Tiger yesterday with Jim Nantz. It was great to see him enjoy it as much as we did. And you couldn't help but get emotional when he comes off that green and he sees his children and they see him differently. He's dad at home. They got to see Tiger Woods. And that's the big difference there. And you could see where that shook Tiger, and rightfully so. All right, best and worst of the weekend. We do it every Monday. What you saw that you liked, you didn't like. We'll give you ours coming up. McLevin, did we settle on a poll question?
Well, for hour one, we put up which team is most likely to win a Super Bowl in the next 10 years, giving you the Bengals, the Browns, the Lions, and the Jets. And it was actually pretty close between the Bengals and the Browns. Browns 31%, Bengals 29%, okay. Lions deep last place.
Yeah, they can't even win this. Aren't they? Do you want to win this? Can you win this? How do you win this if you're the Lions? Yes, Paulie.
I'm loving your Lions angle here because they fascinate me because they're sitting at 3, and every mock draft has them taking this defensive back and moving on or trading with some other team. But you have a guy who was considered the first pick of the draft 6 months ago, Tua, and you don't have to do anything. He'll just be right in your lap. Rookie contract, all that stuff. I know the Matt Stafford thing is complex, but how many times do you get a quarterback dropping in your lap like that?
I need a rookie quarterback. I need that contract. That's the key. Matthew Stafford isn't that old. Is he like 31 maybe? Maybe 32? But he had the back injury, and that would be a concern here. But he's expensive. How old is he, Paulie?
32.
Okay. If I'm Detroit, man, I want to revitalize. I want something. I want something new. Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback. He might be a perfect quarterback for a team, that's the missing piece that they have. If you said the Chargers could get Matthew Stafford right now, you got to look at these teams like the Colts. The Colts, if they didn't get Phillip Rivers and you could bring in Matthew Stafford, that would make sense for a team like that. But maybe that's what happens to Matthew Stafford later on in his career. But if I'm Detroit, man, if I'm sold on Tua and his physical, then I would really, really consider that. The Redskins, I think you give Dwayne Haskins another year, and let Ron Rivera see if he can help him out a little bit here. And then next year, if it doesn't go well, maybe you're in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. Yeah, McLevin.
How does the lack of offseason, the fact that if you bring a rookie in, you might not get a full offseason with them, affect the thinking on a guy like Tua or Herbert or Love? Do teams say, well, they're going to have to wait a year anyway?
Yeah, I don't think that those three players, those quarterbacks, are playing a lot this year, starting. And if you're Detroit, although Matthew Stafford wouldn't like it that you're using the third pick overall, he's not going to play and he'd sit behind Matthew Stafford for the year. Jordan Love is not ready to play. I still hear that, the Patriots, now there's a lot of speculation and it's just speculation, all right? It's not based off anything because it's the Patriots and you don't know. So they weren't in for, Cam Newton sweepstakes. Now you're starting to hear maybe they are. And then I heard over the weekend, keep an eye on the Patriots with Jordan Love. Just, how high will they go up to draft a quarterback? That's really the key. Because I was told last week that they're not going to use, first, second, third round pick. They're going to keep trying to throw darts out there and say, hey, look at what we got. I was also told by a source over the weekend. He goes, hey, you guys were discussing this with Brady and Belichick and everything and Jimmy G. And make no mistake about this. This is common knowledge of those on the inside. Brady knew his relationship with Belichick was broken after Tom made him trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Belichick loved Jimmy Garoppolo. But you get a guy for nothing, and then he wanted to make sure that he hand-delivered Garoppolo to somebody that he had respect for in Kyle Shanahan. Didn't want him to go to the Cleveland Browns, and you send him there. But Tom realized that he pulled a power move and went to Robert Kraft. This is what I'm told over the weekend. He went to Robert Kraft and said, I need you to trade Jimmy. And I think that they were ready to move on from Brady. I think Brady surprised Belichick with just how good he was. Because, you had Garoppolo waiting, and they knew that. And I thought that they were going to move on from Brady. And then you trade Garoppolo. Well, Tom doesn't have any competition. Jarrett Stidham is not competition. Cody Kessler is not competition. Jimmy Garoppolo is competition. But that, there's so many things that went on behind the scenes. And I have great respect for Brady and Belichick to not air that dirty laundry. Would I like it? Yes. I'm trying to fill 3 hours. Are you kidding me? Come on. Help a brother out here. I can only go with Tampa Bay T-shirts for so long.
Those are hot, by the way.
Yes. Go to the website. Get them while you can. The pre-lawsuit Tampa Bay T-shirts. Pre-lawsuit sale.
Soon to be collector's items.
Can you imagine we go to court like Exhibit A and they are holding up the Tampa Bay T-shirts there? We have not heard from Tom. We have not, or his lawyers, but not a cease and desist, nothing going on there. We're very proud to have these T-shirts. I said to my wife, she said, are you being sued? And I go, no. Well, I heard about this Tom Brady thing, and this story's gone all around the world. And it mentions you. Like she said, I read it in the Daily Mail. It was in Forbes magazine or their website. And she goes, is Tom Brady going to sue you? And I go, I hope. She goes, why? And I told her, that, and she goes, who came up with that horrible play on words? And I go, well, we did it before Fritzy did it. She goes, Tampa Bay? I said, we did it as a joke. And then he filed a trademark. Yeah, Seton.
Are we not putting enough thought into the idea of sort of fighting his claim to that trademark? You know how Darren Ravel last week said, what could be interesting is if you guys claim the trademark yourselves, or at least put in some kind of injunction or something that says he can't have it because we're already using it.
I think if Tom comes on for 2 hours like he did Howard Stern, I'm more than willing to let him have Tampa Bay. Yes, Paul.
Yeah, we did come up with the idea first, but we're kind of in that 28-3 mode right now. We're up 28-3 on Brady with the T-shirt thing. We don't want to make him mad. By the way, Tom did respond. SportsCenter put out a report about Tom Brady hopes to trademark Tampa Bay. And Tom tweeted out, this is pure Tom, I never understood why Drew wasn't making Drew Orleans shirts. Drew Orleans shirts.
No,
Fritzy.
I got it, Fritzy. You don't have to repeat it. It's not good.
Drew Orleans.
Drew Orleans. Yes, Todd.
But don't you want to hear at some point the state would like to call McLovin to the stand? What would be better than that?
No, they would be calling Seton O'Connor.
What?
Yes, McLovin.
As a former paralegal, I think I should represent us in this affair.
Oh, God. You're going to be like Joe Pesci and my cousin Vinny. We're going to end up in prison.
Or Animal House, pre-law.
Drew Orleans.
Pre-med.
Drew Orleans. I was mentioning the Patriots. They don't draft well. Imagine if they drafted well. Last time the Patriots drafted a player who eventually made the Pro Bowl. Anybody want to guess? McLovin, I'll start with you. The last time the Patriots drafted a player who eventually made the Pro Bowl.
Is it an offensive lineman?
No.
Okay.
Julian
Edelman.
No, he's never made a Pro Bowl.
Oh, my gosh. He's never made a Pro Bowl still?
I don't think so. Jamie Collins. Paulie, I didn't see your hand up.
It's okay. I was going Chandler Jones or Jamie Collins.
Oh, okay. He made it in 2015, so they drafted him in 2013. Last time the Patriots drafted a player who eventually was an All-Pro was 2012, Chandler Jones. Now, he became an All-Pro with Arizona.
As soon as you make a Pro Bowl with the Patriots, they're going to let you go because they can't pay you. They won't pay you.
The last time the Patriots drafted a player who eventually was an All-Pro as a Patriot, They selected Rob Gronkowski. That was in 2010. Am I correct on Edelman? I don't think he's been a Pro Bowl.
Never made a Pro Bowl. Never.
Even when he had, 98 catches?
Nope. Not even as an alternate, not even as a fill-in.
That's mean-spirited. Travis Kelce, he's made the All-Pro team a couple times. We mentioned that 4 years ago tonight, Kobe Bryant's last game at Staples, he put up 60. In the second half, he took 30 shots. He made 15. The rest of the team he took 30 shots in the second half. The rest of the team took 14. Well, there's no reason to save them. You might as well go out and squeeze them off while you can. Wow. I didn't realize he took that many shots. 30. He made 15. McLevin, what other poll questions? I'll get a couple of phone calls and we'll talk to Travis Kelce.
Well, I was going to pitch, if you are a Dolphins fan and a Chargers fan, and this scenario unfolds where the Dolphins take Justin Herbert and then the Chargers take Tua Tagovailoa, who is a happier fan base in that scenario?
Well, it feels like the Dolphins would be taking Tua.
Well, I thought you said a story around saying that and I saw a bunch of mock drafts giving Herbert to the Dolphins.
Yeah, maybe.
Daniel Jeremiah's last one.
Look, this is what these guys think these teams should do, not what they're going to do. Usually when you do these mock drafts, this is who I think they should take, not who they're actually taking, because sometimes that's a difference. But if I'm the Dolphins and I got Justin Herbert, I'm the Chargers, I'm going to say the Chargers fan base is probably, like if you got Tua, Justin Herbert looks like he's a better quarterback going into this draft because of his health. You know, that he's healthy, and he's a very athletic quarterback. He's got what you want. Tua seems to have something that everybody's fascinated with still. And I know Trent Dilfer walked back these comments, and he should have, where he's saying, he throws better than Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers. Well, I think he was saying at this stage in their careers, which isn't true. Like Dan Marino set the NFL on fire right out of the gate when he came in. Like his second year, he put up 48 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years. Okay, I get that. But you're putting so much pressure on this kid. You don't need to we've already compared him to Drew Brees, right? That's your mock comparisons. He's like Drew Brees. I don't see that. Drew Brees doesn't have escapability. He's a pocket passer. He's more like Russell Wilson, maybe with the touch of Drew Brees, if you want to throw it in. But even that is heavy stuff. I don't know. It just feels like, we're putting too much pressure on him because we don't even know if he's healthy or not. But if I'm the Chargers and I get Tua and I go into that new stadium, he can sit for a year behind Tyrod Taylor. I like that. Tua will sell tickets. Justin Herbert might turn out to be the better quarterback. Edelman was a Pro Bowl selection in 2014. He didn't play in the game because the Patriots were in the Super Bowl. All right. So he's gone there once. Yes, McLevin.
One thing about Tua, I think the left-handed factor plays a lot. Like we loved Tebow, we loved Vic, we loved Pat White. Like I think there's a fascination because it's such a rare thing. Is that a huge stretch?
Oh, gosh. I don't look at it and go, boy, he's left-handed. Let's take him. Or I think he looks better because he's left-handed, if that makes sense.
No, I think fans are interested because he's unorthodox. There hasn't been a lefty quarterback in years.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't want an unorthodox quarterback. I want a great quarterback. I'll take an orthodox quarterback.
Yes, orthodox.
Yeah, certainly with the holy days here.
An Orthodox Jewish quarterback? There are very few of them, Dan. I hate to break it to you.
Is there a list of best Orthodox quarterbacks of all time?
Sid Gilman? I have no idea.
Who's our favorite guy?
Sage Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sage always comes up.
Sage is not Orthodox. Far from it. Jay Fiedler, not Orthodox. You want the whole list of Jewish quarterbacks?
No,
I don't. Go on.
No, it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long. All right, we'll give you our best and worst of the weekend. Adam Sandler in an hour from now. We'll take a break and your phone calls. Best and worst of the weekend. We're down to the final fork, the final 4 artists that are taking part in Meat Madness. Glenn in Michigan, Brandon in Ohio, Angel in Florida, Matt in Oklahoma. Voting will close on Wednesday. Big surprise coming up tomorrow. I think it's a huge surprise. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to tell you about this. Huge surprise tomorrow. Literally huge surprise coming up on the program tomorrow. We'll take a break. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce will join us on the program next, right here on the Dan Patrick Show. Discover the Discover credit card. There's so many things Discover does for you. You're checking things all the time, so why not check your credit? Because it's so important to get that FICO credit score. That score is used by 90% of top lenders, and you get that for free, even if you're not a customer. Checking your score won't hurt your credit, and you can check each month for changes. The Discover Credit Scorecard. It's free for everyone. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. That's discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations do apply.
They need the laughter, whether it's contrived or not. It convinces the audience that it's
You
watching on TV that's
really
funny.
you really think that Comedy Store in Minneapolis was going to spend the money for laugh or
They
applause?
could rent it just for an
you.
hour. It's probably not.
Exactly.
The stressful thing was, and again, I don't know what to expect for this next go-round, other than it's the grand stage of Caroline's in New York City. Nothing against Minneapolis and the Chuckle Factory, but I love those guys. Syphilis? That's not called syphilis. What was the name of it? Syphilis? Can't remember the name of the place in Minneapolis. It sounded like a sexually transmitted disease, but it wasn't. It was a legitimate bar that had like a little comedy area in the back, and they were kind enough to let me.
Was it Sisyphus?
Sisyphus. That's what it was.
Because that's where you push the rock up the mountain, but
Sisyphus.
the rock comes back down.
It was Sisyphus, but you're in my head a little bit because now I'm wondering how much of that was a real experience and how much of it was experience from the Dan Patrick. They're on laugh standby, so anything remotely humorous, they're gonna just laugh at.
This is how it always starts. It starts and then it becomes a mushroom cloud. Every time I do this with you, I just try to put it in context. I'm not rooting against you.
I would never suggest that you're rooting against
you. And if you do well at
Paulie, would love to see
Paulie would root against you. But at Caroline's, if you go in there, that's one of the legendary places in the United States.
That's why I'm a little anxious about it. Now, I don't know. In Minneapolis, there was some professional comedians that were kind enough to make me be the headliner, and they went ahead of me. These people that do this for a living and have been on the late night talk show circuit and everything, and they let me be the finale. And I don't know what to expect. When we do this thing, is there going to be professional comedians there? Is it all a rookie, amateur, open mic night? I honestly don't know.
Sure. But it's not a home court advantage.
It's not. I grew up in Brooklyn. Does that count?
I don't. Unless everybody in your neighborhood is coming. No, it's not going to be.
And you would discourage me from inviting family.
No, you're not inviting people. Okay. I want you to just show up.
I will say this, that a random group of ethnicities and ages and genders, if you can come up with something that can make all those people laugh simultaneously, that there is something extremely rewarding and awesome about that, regardless of what your background is or who you are, and that everyone would find something funny, that universally funny. That's a high, as big as, if not bigger than, getting the newsmakers that we talk to every day and booking them on the show. That would be equivalent, possibly surpassing that, to find those kind of
let's
things.
not go too far. Got something big to tell you about, literally huge, coming up in a little bit here. Travis Kelce called in on time, and we'll get to him in a moment. Your phone calls as well, but got something big on the program coming up tomorrow. Travis Kelce has been busy donating 12,000 meals to the Kansas City community, and through his foundation, 87 in Running. Also wanted to take care of an organization near and dear to his heart in Kansas City, Operation Breakthrough. He donated all the food and supplies to keep them business as usual for 15 weeks. Always great to catch up with the Kansas City Chiefs All-Pro tight end, Travis Kelce. What are you going to do today aside from this interview? Like, what else is the game plan?
I'm probably going to cook a few meals,
okay,
Dan, and play some video games. I think I just entered a ESPN Madden tournament. I believe so. So I think that's what I got going on. I'm video games and just cooking meals and working out.
What do you have as far as workout equipment there?
Ironically, like during the season, I ended up buying a house, first time homeowner, and I went out and I bought equipment. Like a rack and a big treadmill. So I've got just about a full on weight room and ability to do just about anything I need at the house. So it's been kind of convenient due to the circumstances, but definitely not the way I imagined using it.
All right, let's go around the room. One, like a max bench press for Travis Kelce, 1 rep. Paulie, I'll start with you.
I'll go. Well, he's a long guy, but he's pretty jacked.
Yeah, but you don't want long arms, though.
Right, but he's jacked as well. I'm going 375, no problem.
375. Fritzy?
360.
360. McLovin?
He's tall like me, much less, 275.
All right. Seton O'Connor?
I'm going to go 276.
276. I'm going to go 277. Travis Kelce, max bench.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't got under a bench, like an actual bar. I haven't done an actual bench like workout in probably 3 years. I've been dumbbells, stability shoulder stuff. Back in the day, the most I've ever thrown up was probably 325, 330.
Okay. All right. We have a winner. I mean, that's what I do, around 315, 320.
Oh, that's not funny. I don't know why.
No,
that's
it's
funny.
not. Why? I'm not laughing.
That made me smile. That made me smile. I would love to see you get under the bench and start repping some out, Dan.
I'm more like Brady. I'm more about flexibility.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think I'm going that route too. I think once you hit like 30, 31, you stop using actual weight and you just use rubber bands.
It's all about pliability.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it going to be strange to see Brady in that Tampa Bay uniform?
It doesn't even feel real. It's very similar to LeBron in Los Angeles.
Have you ever had a conversation with Brady?
You know what? I think it was a quick, hey, good game after he had a 2-minute drive, winning touchdown. So I think, that was about the only time I really had a conversation with him, but seems like a great guy.
Oh, wait, that wasn't the one in Kansas City where somebody jumped off sides and you didn't talk after that?
No.
Okay.
No, it was actually the game earlier that year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one in Kansas City, the playoff game, you probably didn't have anything to say.
No, I didn't talk to anybody for a while after that one.
Do you trade jerseys?
It has to be a special occasion, like when I played my brother, or a guy like Zach Ertz, or a guy like George Kittle. Just people that I'm good friends with. Sometimes it's the guys that I admire throughout the years, like a guy that I grew up watching, Ted Ginn Jr. Out of Cleveland, Ohio. It's just got to be a very unique situation for sure.
We wanted to do the how much is Patrick Mahomes going to make per year over under, and then we'll let you weigh in on this. Paulie, over under Mahomes per season.
42.5 mil.
42.5. Fritzy.
44.5.
Oh, McLovin.
44 3/4.
Okay. Seton O'Connor.
45.
45. I'm going to go 39.9. What do you think Mahomes is going to make per year with this next contract?
I think he's going 50 a year. I think he's going to make $50 million per year on the field.
And worth it.
Worth every penny of it.
When's the last time he did something where you went, oh, my God?
You know what? Like, in terms of, like...
Just
like
on the field.
Excitement or kind of like, oh, come on, Pat. Why would you do that? Like that?
Either way.
On the field was probably in the Super Bowl when he tried to run it in from about the 15 or 20 yard line.
Oh, my God. I thought he was going to get blown up.
Pat, what are we doing? It's the second quarter. We're trying to win this thing, man. Guys, I'll tell you what, I've never seen any football player more uncomfortable in a situation of having to make a one-on-one move on somebody than Patrick Mahomes in space.
Wait, it looks like he's got athleticism.
No, he can move. He can move, and he did pull the hezzy out against the Titans on the long touchdown run. The hezzy and then the slow spin into the end zone against the Titans. He pulled that out. You got to respect him in that regard. But when he's coming downhill and he has a guy coming at him downhill, man, it's like an awkward, confusing, should I make a move? Should I jump? Should I slide? And then he tries to kind of slide at the end and then just gets smoked in the middle of being –
have you watched the Super Bowl?
A few times.
But what do you listen? What are you watching for?
I would say really just to reminisce the feeling that I had on the field throughout the entire game, the excitement, the getting through the adversity with the teammates. Those are things that I feel like I'll cherish for the rest of my life, and they certainly aren't going away anytime soon.
What did you do with the Lombardi Trophy?
I picked it up, I kissed it, and then I chugged a beer off of it. Like I won the Stanley Cup.
So you chugged a beer off of it. So like you used it as a luge with beer?
Oh, the Lombardi luge, baby.
Which Kelce had a better time after they won the Super Bowl, you or your brother?
Oh man, I would say initially I don't know if initially I don't know if anyone partied the way we partied. You know, after Super Bowl, I mean we really got after. We had some fun, but I think because of this whole quarantine thing, everything just died down real fast.
Were you shirtless a lot?
Lockdown. No, not really. Kept my shirt on. It was still a little chilly out. So I kept the shirt on. But it was probably soaking wet in alcohol, or I should say beverages.
Of course. Your brother didn't get cheated.
No, he did not.
Your parents must have been so proud.
Yeah, you can't tell mom or dad anything right now, that's for sure.
When do you think you're going to be able to go back to the facility?
I think if you give it about a month and a half, I think we're going to kind of have to take these precautions through April, through May, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens after that. But I mean, I'm just talking to everybody on the team and the coaches. Everyone's just ready to get back after it. Pretty motivated.
And OTAs are probably going to be canceled, right?
Man, these are great questions and great thoughts. I don't know if they would necessarily just botch OTAs. I think they would want to have some type of mini camp or at least a week or two or a month getting together in the off season.
Yeah, I think everything's in a state of flux, but you surprised they're having the draft?
No, I knew they had to go through with the draft. I do see it more as it's like it's kind of like the MLB draft almost. I feel like because they don't do a huge production, do they?
No. They've tried
Right,
to. They
it's just-
tried to ramp it up a little bit on the MLB Network, where they have the draft picks there, but it doesn't have any buzz.
25 rounds.
Yeah, I know.
Holy shit.
I know. If you don't get drafted, did you get drafted in baseball?
No.
Oh,
I did
okay.
not. I did not. It was probably my best sport, but I did not. I didn't play enough. I only played 1 year of high school.
And then you were a wrestler too, weren't you?
No, no, that was Jason.
Oh,
Jason
he
was the wrestler
okay.
in middle school, and then he played because it was a winter sport, so he played hockey in high school, and I played basketball.
Oh man, I can't imagine your brother playing hockey.
Yeah, he's pretty nuts.
He would hurt some people. All right, I want to give another plug to this. So you donated 12,000 meals to the Kansas City community. Your Foundation 87 in running, and you're also taking care of Operation Breakthrough. Donated all the food and supplies to keep them business as usual for 15 weeks. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, there's nothing. I mean, everyone be safe. Everyone take the right safety precautions and safety measures out here. Wash your hands, and just be appreciative of the situations you have in life, because obviously it's not everyone's as fortunate as we are right now.
The pride of Cleveland, Travis Kelce. Hey, good to talk to you. Be smart, be safe, and thanks for joining us.
Always, Dan. You do the same. Take it easy, guys.
Travis Kelce. He grew up in Cleveland, and he didn't have many offers. I think he might have been a 3-star recruit, maybe 2-star. I think Connecticut, Cincinnati, but didn't have too many offers. That's one of those guys who has a chip on his shoulder because he didn't have a lot of those offers. But when you talk about best tight end in the NFL, it's Kelce and Kittle, right? There was a report, and I don't know if it's a report. Zach Ertz is great too. Mike Florio put it out there, and I don't know if it came from Mike or Mike just picked it up and ran with it a little bit. But he talked about Rob Gronkowski maybe coming out of retirement. Now, I think it's speculation. To be fair to Florio, he's not reporting it. But there's been speculation of Gronk coming out of retirement. And Gronk has a $9 million salary cap hit. That would go on the books for the Patriots. If he unretired and if the team chose to keep him, so then they've already got that. The Patriots are already in trouble, I think, salary cap-wise. But, because Brady has a salary cap, dead cap hit of $13.5 million for New England. So therefore, the Patriots, even if Gronk wanted to come back, would probably say, it doesn't make sense for us to bring him back. Now, you got 2 tight ends in Tampa Bay. I got O.J. Howard, and I got Cameron Brate. Now, if I'm Bill Belichick, let's just say, what if? Gronk decides he wants to play with Brady in Tampa. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen, but let's say he did. And I'm New England. All right, Gronk, and Tampa Bay, we'll let you do that. We want Cameron Brate. Or we want O.J. Howard. And we'll be more than happy to give you Rob Gronkowski. The position the Patriots are in, if you're rebuilding on offense, you don't want Rob Gronkowski for $9 million. But if you're Tampa, do you want... I don't need Gronk if I have O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate. I love Gronk, but his best days are behind him. I think he's better off not playing health-wise, given everything he's gone through. But if you saw a situation where maybe Gronk would have a little leverage to be able to play with Brady, it would be because of the salary cap hit. But if I'm Tom Brady, I got 2 really good tight ends. Those are good. Those are good tight ends. I would be comfortable going into the season with those 2 tight ends. Gronk, we would love that, but I don't see that happening. All right, we'll come back. I'll tell you the really big news, literally, coming up on the show, and your phone calls and our best and worst of the weekend. That's coming up next here on the Dan Patrick Show. I mean,
Am I being a little dramatic?
Like you're just standing up there telling a couple jokes, dude.
It is kind of ballsy to go up there, and you have to have a little bit of arrogance, I would think, to say, hey, I'm funny and I'm going to prove it to you. You all came out and 2-drink minimum or whatever, and you decided you're going to spend your evening at this place. And okay, this.
Yeah, but they didn't know you were going to be
That's
there.
true. That is true. I'm trying not to think about that part, but still, in that moment, like, oh, this guy thinks he's funny. All right, go ahead, funny joke boy. What do you got? I'm going to sit here and I expect to laugh. That's why I'm here. I brought my girlfriend, I brought my wife, I got my friends here, and I'm here to laugh.
But he brought his girlfriend and
his
his wife?
which makes it really awkward. Which I'll point that out during the show. Which ones have the girlfriend and the wife there, and could get a little awkward. But the other thing is, I haven't been because I'd like to think I'm 1 for 1 at the plate with this. Can we say that was a base hit? I'm not saying it was a home run.
I think it's kind of like a base hit in a celebrity.
Was it intentional
all-star
walk?
Game.
They let me just
No.
take a
Celebrity
base?
all-star game.
Celebrity all-star game, which there's nothing much to that.
Yeah, like you got a base knock.
That's not anything.
Billy Crystal was the pitcher, and you got a base knock. Yeah.
What has to happen, like on the rating? Like, how do you know? Or maybe I should know.
Don't all comedians talk about when they fail? Like, you really aren't a comedian until you've fallen flat.
No, but is it right? But is it a heckler? Is it booing? Is it the dead silence of something you thought was funny and you're kind of waiting for the laughs that don't come?
Yeah.
That I think would be worse than someone saying, "You're not funny, joke boy." I think I'd rather have that. At least I'm getting some kind of dialogue, and then I have a chance to respond to that heckler.
Are you known
no sound.
as joke boy?
I just when I think of that, if I was a heckler,
Tonight,
that's probably what I would say.
Joke boy.
If I was a drunk
Carrot Top.
But wouldn't you do that if you're a drunk, obnoxious heckler? That's one of the things I would say. I wouldn't curse or say anything about their mother, but if someone's telling a joke, and then that's why the shoelaces came, whatever, some kind of stupid joke, and then I would say, "Sit down, joke boy, you're not funny." I would say joke boy. I think that would be a very negative thing to throw at a comedian, referring to them as joke boy. It's very dismissive sounding.
There's other things they could say that would probably hurt
like
you.
curse words and stuff.
Well, no, they could probably make fun of you somehow.
Like my weight or my ethnic background. I don't know. My lack of hair.
It could. I don't know what they could make fun of you.
Slovenly appear. I don't know. There's all kinds.
No, because see, you do. We've talked about you can't be too good looking to be a really good comedian.
Go. So you're taking this is a shot.
But no,
you're about to take a shot right now. And because you're overweight and bald and average looking at best, they'll find you here. You already look funny.
Do you think you're
so even
funnier?
if you say the slightest thing humorous, do I think I'm funny?
Do you think you're funnier?
We had that with what's his name on that awkward, horrible interview that we had. Who was the celebrity we had on the show?
Jonah Hill.
Yeah. So to use that example, I think you're definitely funnier if people feel sorry for you a little bit, or they can relate to your, whether it's an obesity issue or a bowel disorder.
No, the bowel disorder they don't know unless you bring it up.
Which I may.
No, you do. You think that's a go-to line.
Is that something? Is that a crutch?
Well,
should I not?
I have Crohn's disease. It's not a funny line.
So why were people giggling? Because I had that home court advantage?
Because it was a home court advantage.
I was wondering, to this day, in the Super Bowl...
I've got Crohn's disease.
But that was months ago, and I'm like, I was wondering why. Are they laughing with me? Why is that funny that, I'll go to the bathroom every 20 minutes and see blood in my stool or something? That can't be funny.
It's not.
But I was poking fun at myself, so maybe they were like, wow, if he could laugh at, God, if I saw, blood in my shit, I'd be panicking. I don't know. Maybe they thought it. And then they're starting
are you working on your routine
a little bit.
now?
I'm using you right now. But people are starting to take their phones out, what did gastroenteritis? What is Crohn's? They're looking it up. How do you spell that, Charlie? Joke boy. What, is that a K? A C? Crohn? They seem very interested, but it's kind of rude to be, doing research on bowel disease while I'm trying to tell some jokes. Especially in my debut, somewhere in Minneapolis, it's syphilis.
Good luck.
In spite of all my friends, if everybody rooting against me, I'm going to somehow make this work.
All right. Here's the big news about the program starting tomorrow. If you're familiar with the Man Cave, we have our great artist, Arcee, who did an unbelievable job. These are murals that he spray painted, and he had 11 days to do all of this. our time frame was sped up because we were trying to get in the man cave, and we have the field house where we have Jerry West and James Harden, Shaq. We have Michael Jordan, LeBron James. We have Gretzky. We have Derek Jeter, Lawrence Taylor. You know, we just threw in a montage of great players. And there's a big mural of Tom Brady in a Patriot uniform. Tomorrow, RC, our artist, is going to come in and repaint that and put Tom Brady in the Tampa Bay creamsicle uniform.
Wow.
Yep. You wanted
now
it?
It's really official.
Yes. Yes. This is my way of saying to Tom, hey, I know we have our differences with the T-shirts, but I'm going to put you in a creamsicle uniform before anybody else does. Yes, Paul.
What if Tom paints himself on the side of the house down in Tampa? Jeter's house, not his house. What if he beats you to it?
Then he can. Go ahead. Feel free. I would not send him a cease and desist, but I was going to do this as a sort of an olive branch to say, Tom, here you are. Show this to Giselle, the family, you and Creamsicle, larger than life. Let's just let bygones be bygones with the Tampa Bay T-shirts. All right? I think that's fair. Now, I was going to do this before the potential litigation. We're not litigious people here at the Dan Patrick Show. We basically just don't want to be sued. We're not smart enough to sue anybody. But this is my logic is, my motto is, we won't sue you if you don't sue us. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But Tom in creamsicle uniform starting tomorrow during the show. I said to RC, I need you to paint during the show. And he said it'll take him 2 days to create the masterpiece. Tom. The Tom Mahal. Yes, Paul.
Orange, you glad we're doing it this week, Fritzy?
Okay.
Oh,
there you go.
Well,
Orange.
Tampa Bay. All right.
So dumb.
I know it is. When my
So
wife said, wait, Tom Brady actually is trademarking that? And I go, yeah. And she goes, why? And I said, well, we were joking about it. We thought, well, let's come up with a corny pun. And we came up with a couple of them. And all of a sudden, we find out that Tom is filing for the trademark there with Tampa Bay. Jeremy in Texas joins us. Hi, Jeremy. What do you have for me today?
Morning, guys. Best of the weekend have to be being able to sit around and watch football life over a bunch of different people. And the worst is having to deal with the Joe Burrow conversation about him not going to Cincinnati. I mean, from my point, if he's going to be a starting quarterback and he's supposed to be the best of the best, you would think you'd want to go to a bad team and be the reason that they turn around and the reason they do start doing better instead of trying to avoid it and go to a different team. And if you fail, then it just makes you look that much worse.
Well, I don't know if he doesn't want to go there. Thank you, Jeremy. Now, if I had the opportunity to go to a team that might have a little bit better infrastructure there, or we got more draft picks, or we have a better product to put out on the field, the Chargers. If I could go to the Chargers or the Bengals, I would choose the Chargers. I'm in Los Angeles, new stadium. I've got a team that is playoff worthy. Miami feels like they're a little bit further ahead. But look, if he wants to go to Cincinnati, you want to be the number one pick, then there's a lot that comes with that. And I'm sure he understands that. But it's not like he's saying, hey, I'm not going there. Now, maybe privately there have been conversations, but we haven't heard the Eli Manning moment where you're kind of forcing your way out of San Diego at the time. Casey in South Carolina. Hey, Case, thanks for holding. Best and worst of the weekend.
I'd have to say my best of the weekend would be Saturday night. I created a fire for me and my wife. Me and her got to dance around it because all the dance clubs were closed where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst would probably be, I got two of them, the weather, because that messed up everything. And two would be the fact that my Carolina Panthers, I don't know if they know what they're doing, and they could easily mess up this draft if they don't tread carefully, and that scares me for next season.
Yeah, they keep talking about trading McCaffrey. I don't know what you're getting for him, believe it or not. McLevin, didn't you see where maybe you get like a second or third round pick for Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, I actually saw a second would be high for Christian McCaffrey because, as we've said, they've partially used the best of him already.
That's amazing. For a guy who gives you 1,000 running and 1,000 receiving, and he'd only be worth that, that's pretty remarkable. Matt in Maryland joins us. Hi, Matt.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey Dan. First of all, thank you guys for being on. My wife and I are both essential workers, and we just appreciate you guys putting the show on for us.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for what you and your wife are doing.
And then second, I want to know what you and the Danettes are doing about haircuts, because I look like you do in your college basketball photo.
Oh, man. Sorry about that, Matt. I was thinking about that. Seton has clippers that he uses, and Paulie has clippers. Fritzy doesn't need it.
Oh.
I'm getting to that point where I might be wearing a hat here soon, because it's been, I think, a good month since I've had a haircut. But I was thinking about if I bought the clippers, I'd just shave, all my hair off. Give myself like a Whitey Herzog buzz. Yeah, Paul.
As producer of this show, your hair is one of the primary concerns
Of course it is.
for me.
Of course it is.
I don't want anyone cutting your hair, including you, without being vetted.
Well, don't you just put the clippers on and you just no?
Yeah, if you want your hair to look like mine, like a buzz cut, half inch on the top, 3/8 on the side, and it's over. But you
but you look like Jason Statham. Your hair looks
No,
like Jason Statham.
I
No,
don't.
your hair does.
Yeah, just from the eyebrows
Yes.
up, I look like
Yeah.
Jason Statham. Fine, I'll take it. Yeah, no one messes with your hair.
Yeah. Yes, he.
Yeah, I cut mine maybe last week,
Yeah.
I think.
It looks
Something
good.
like that.
It looks
The
good.
biggest problem is you got to make sure you clean up all the hair on the floor, because leaving any of those remnants doesn't go over well with the family.
Well, did you put down something?
No, I've kind of felt like I could just sweep it up instead. But you want to make sure it's not so much the floor; it's if it gets on the sink and things like that. You want to make sure you check behind the.
I would just
faucet
go
and things like that.
outside and do it. I'll just go out in the garage and do it. Yeah, McLovin.
Isn't your barber an essential worker for our show? More essential than some of us.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get her to come out. Yes, Fritzy.
Steve Ballmer just called you can't buy the Clippers.
Oh, wow.
Maybe C+.
Wow.
Bad way to end the hour.
Yeah, great way. Thank you. Adam Sandler's going to join us coming up. Thank you, Todd. though. These are all the Sports Center stuff that I shot, the ads for Sports Center. And then you got this one from the cast of Hoosiers.
Yeah, I did a little thing with them online a couple of years ago, and they sent me an autograph thing.
Yeah, that's pretty sharp. Yeah. What else do we have down here? San Francisco and New York, I got Dan Patrick Day. Rudy Giuliani, by the way. I was in Grown Ups too, and for some reason Sandler sent that to me. I still don't know what it is, but thank you, Sandman. All the T-shirts.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a wild day.
Rob Dibble jersey, worked with Dibbs at ESPN, former Nasty Boy.
How did this get out of my house?
Yeah, it's been here.
Did you go to my house?
No, it's been here. It's been here. But this one has the grass
That's
stain.
from that.
Is that Albania or
no,
something?
that's the Confederation Cup.
Oh, yeah.
When USA beat Spain.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of grass stains there.
Oh, yeah.
Lance Armstrong sent that in. This is from my good friend Bono. Sent that in. It's nice of him. He listens every day in Dublin. Dale Earnhardt, Junior sent that in. There's only like 6 of these made, and he gave me one of those. We also have the White Shadow. And Tim Duncan up there. Let me see, what else do we have? Johnny Bench, my mom got that for me. Willis Reed, Wilt Chamberlain autographs, always very cool. We got some movie posters as well. We'll get to that in a minute. I gotta go back. Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Welcome to another edition of the Dan Patrick Show.
I watch your show every day. You stop me in my tracks.
I feel fortunate that we get to do this.
With all this downtime.
Jim Nantz, lead play-by-play voice of the Masters. He's Justin Herbert. Jack Nicklaus, who joins us on the program.
Even more of the biggest and best guests.
Ernesto Johnson, Turner Sports studio host. He's Bryan Cranston. He's Al Michaels, Football Night in America, Sunday Night Football.
It's Groundhog Day. I wake up and I'm going, damn, it's the same day. It's all the same. It runs together. And
Bob Costas on the line, Dan.
Hey, Bob.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Alfalfa. That was an accident, and I hit some button inadvertently. And all of a sudden, I saw myself with a 10-day growth of beard. Very disconcerting.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave.
Very, very uplifting.
This is Dan Patrick.
Final hour on this Monday. Hope you had a safe weekend, a good weekend. Belated Happy Easter to all involved. Gang's here ready to go. Of course, our scaled-down staff. Paulie is here in front of me, about 20 feet away. The other Danettes are at their homes. We have people in the back row, or back room, I should say, that are doing some great work, and we appreciate them joining us here in the Man Cave. We got, what?
You said they're doing great work in the back.
They are.
Sorry about that.
Those guys,
the rim shot.
They're doing great work. The big German is here. Dylan, Alan, the IT, Marvin, and Rob, the intern. That's it. And you there at home, if you're watching or listening, doing both, we appreciate you joining us. Yes, Paul.
Just to give people an idea of what we do here, Alan, the IT guy, who also does a lot of technical stuff with the radio.
That would
side.
be the IT part of his job.
But he also does some radio stuff. I look in the break. It is raining sideways. The wind's about 35 miles an hour. It's not a monsoon, but it's monsoon-ish outside. And Alan's outside on the smokers
Well,
Slow cooking some brats.
I said, hey, I need to defrost these sausages. And I said, how do I do it? He goes, well, I can go outside. I said, no, it's bad weather. He goes, no, I'll fire up the Traeger. So he's out there, and he looks like, that newscaster who's holding on to the lamppost while there's, a tornado or hurricane. That's what he's doing. But, hey, I needed some food, and he's fired up the Traeger there. So I appreciate that. We will give you our best and worst of the weekend. That'll be coming up. A lot of fun this weekend watching CBS with Phil and Tiger reminiscing about winning the Masters. I thought Tiger yesterday was great. Great entertainment and really insightful of what you're thinking in the moment, and to let Tiger to allow us in, that was pretty good. Drew Brees going to NBC. I don't know when. I was told that he was going to play one more year and then he was going to NBC, and ESPN was involved, Fox was involved. I thought he was going to take the Monday night job, and if you're going to do that, then you're not going to be playing this year, because it feels like ESPN's got to do something on Monday night. Feels like they have to make a change. Well, are you going to make a temporary change? You can't get into, let's make another change and then another change here. And then I started to wonder about Drew Brees. He'll be in the studio with Rodney and Tony and Mike Tirico, but are they grooming him to eventually take over for Chris Collinsworth? Well, Collinsworth is 61. He's not going anywhere. At least I don't think so. Al Michaels, I think Al will do the Super Bowl in Los Angeles, and then Mike Tirico will take over the play-by-play duties. But I think that'll be by choice, that Al wants to be able to do that Super Bowl in Los Angeles, a home game for him, and then maybe that's all he's going to do. I think Mike Tirico is going to do some games on Sunday night, so maybe Al doesn't do a full schedule. Tirico will do some of those games and then eventually move into that seat and work with Chris Collinsworth. I don't know if Drew Brees is – I think you have the luxury of having Drew Brees there, that maybe 4 or 5 years down the road you could put him in the booth if Chris Collinsworth decided he didn't want to do it anymore. But Collinsworth's at the top of his game, and so is Al. But those were things that I was wondering about with Brees. I was told that, if he was going to be the backup to Peyton Manning, if they didn't get Peyton Manning – well, they didn't get Romo, Peyton Manning, then they were looking at Drew Brees. Could you convince Drew Brees? If the Saints weren't this good, I think you could have gotten Drew Brees for Monday Night Football. But if I'm Drew Brees, one more Super Bowl would be huge for his legacy. Huge. The team's too good to walk away. And, he's playing at a good level. Not a great level, but a good level. And is that level enough for this team to win a Super Bowl this year? Drew already has his, future broadcast job, and that's with NBC. So you've taken care of that, because there's only so many jobs. There's a lot of people, but there's only so many of those jobs. If you get one, a coveted job, hold on for dear life. And I understand why Jason Witten, decided to retire and take Monday night. He wasn't ready for that, but we found that he wasn't ready for retirement either. I mean, retirement's forever. That's the thing. When you retire from football, that's it. And then all of a sudden you go, I'm 36 and that's it. I think he looked around and said, this isn't something I do well, and let me go back and play. Now he's with the Raiders. So I don't know when, if he'll get back into this. Jay Cutler's bored to death. I mean, just watch Very Cavallari and you'll realize, but maybe that's what he wants to do, because they're, Fox is looking at, well, what do we do? Charles Davis just got promoted. Dan Fouts was let go by CBS. There's movement in this little world, but if you get one of those coveted jobs, hold on for dear life. And Drew Brees in the studio, 3 analysts, okay. I mean, you look at the other pregame shows. I wanted more from, less people. Then I got to go to you and then go to you and then go to you. Like, I have to get everybody's opinion on something, and I don't think that's great TV. As much as Drew would be great to tune in to see and listen to, sometimes you have to acquiesce to everybody in there, and not everybody has a great point. Yeah, Paul.
Isn't ESPN and Monday Night Football in a weird position? Because if they would have got Romo or Brees or Manning, they could have changed the entire booth this year.
Yep.
Now they may have to go into another year with the status quo with the guys they have and hope to try it again next year with a Brees or and he's off the table. or a Manning or something like that.
I think you might be able to get Phillip Rivers, and I think Phillip Rivers would be pretty good there. But you can't go, okay, we're not going to bring back Joe Tessitore and Booger McFarland, so we're going to put in Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, and Steve Levy. Okay, but then you do that for 1 year, and then are you going to make a change again if somebody comes available? I mean, I'd be curious if you put in Levy, Orlovsky, and Louis Riddick, who I do like. Their stars have risen, and I think they have sharp commentary. And Levy is, very good at landing the planes there. But, they tried too hard. They tried too hard with Monday Night Football. You put in Dennis Miller, and as funny as Dennis is, you have to set him up. They were trying to create Howard Cosell, Don Meredith, and Frank Gifford, and you can't. You can't. It's like, SportsCenter was trying to recreate what Oberman and I did. You can't. You create something different, and maybe it's better, but you can't create that. It just happens. You can't create Dick Vitale. You can't create Chris Berman. You have to develop other talent. And Monday Night Football, and a lot of it's luck. You just stumble into it. Hey, we got to have Tony Kornheiser in there. As brilliant as Tony is, he wasn't good in the booth. And then you bring in Jaws because Tony likes working with Ron Jaworski. It just doesn't work. And then Mike Tirico's trying to set them up. You're trying to call a game and have somebody just interject. I mean, that's why Romo works, because Jim Nantz doesn't have to set him up. He jumps in, jumps out. Chris Collinsworth jumps in, jumps out. But if I have to set you up, like it's Night at the Improv, that's really hard to pull off. And Dennis Miller is very bright and knows football, but it just felt like you kind of went to him because you were forced to go to him, and the same with Tony Kornheiser. Just put somebody in there who does the game and does it well. Does it correctly, that's all. I think we'd get to the point where we'd go, that's it, I'm good. Just do it correctly. Do it right. No bells and whistles. You know what makes for a great broadcasting team? Great games. That helps. That helps. You can add to a game. Sometimes you can subtract from a game as well. All right, phone calls coming up. Adam Sandler will join us as well. Best and worst of the weekend. We got a winner on Fritzy's scoreboard. We do this every day where Fritzy puts up numbers here, home and away, and then we give away DP show gear. Sean Pearson, Oregon, the big winner. And the numbers were 1 and 11, and they have to do with animals. Is that right, Todd?
Animals or animal.
Animal.
If that helps.
Okay. Do you want to give another hint here, since we do have a winner?
Bad technology broadcast.
Okay. Animals. Animal. This in the horse game.
There you go. You got the animal part.
I got the animal part.
Now 1 and 11. Is that a score? Is that jersey numbers? Is it the outcome of one of the games of horse?
I only watched a little bit.
Chauncey Billups upsetting Trey Young 1
in 11
over 11.
All right. Yeah, that didn't turn out the way
No.
I think Paulie envisioned. They were they rushed it. We wanted social media. We didn't want it to be televised. We if you got all these guys involved in it, and you needed other guys involved. If you had Damian Lillard, you had LeBron James in there. Like, to me, that would have been a little bit better. And we had Lillard on, and he said he'd like to do it, but social media would have been better than just trying to broadcast it that way. And I hope Trey Young gets a phone deal. We got to hook him up, because I don't know what he was using, like a sidekick or something, but that was not, technology-wise, that was not pristine. Yes, Paulie?
You also learn the difference in what the players make for their careers playing the WNBA versus the NBA. Mike Conley has a home gym that looks like the Lakers practice facility, and then Tamika Catchings, she's got like a 2-car garage and just a hoop outside, like a normal house.
Yeah, just like the rest of us. They could have held it, we could have I could have taken part in this with the man cave that we have here. I got a home court advantage here. That'd have been nice. All right, best and worst of the weekend. Todd, I'll start with you.
Best of the weekend, Ronda Rousey lighting up WWE fans. I don't know if you saw some of these quotes. She was on a show called Wild Ride with Steve-O. Rather spend time with the family. Bleeping ungrateful fans don't appreciate her. But at the end of the day, I was like, bleep these fans, dude. I'm going to just spend time with my family. My worst of the weekend, oil lord Colby K passing away at the age of 25, suffered a brain bleed earlier in the week. So thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, I don't understand the Ronda Rousey thing. I think, isn't she the villain? Doesn't she understand that you get booed because you're the villain? Like, is she in character here by yelling at the fans? I'm not sure. Like, I forgot about Ronda Rousey. Like, we moved on from that. But I don't watch wrestling, but when I saw that she was upset with the fans, you get booed if you're doing your job as the heel. I'm guessing. I don't know. McLovin, best and worst.
Yes, obviously the debut of the show Belgravia on Epix, which is the follow-up to Downton Abbey. It is some saucy Victorian action, Dan. Saucy. Worst is going to be Paul Pierce's effort in Horse against Zach LaVine. I have never seen it. Like Zach LaVine, like with just college, hit the backboard on a layup, and Pierce couldn't even get there. It was tough.
I was waiting for a wheelchair to come out and get Paul Pierce and take him off the floor. Yeah, Paul.
See, but that was the problem with the entire competition. You put a guy who's a dunk contest champion against a retired NBA player. They can't do the same moves. But if you had Damian Lillard against Victor Oladipo, they can do similar moves.
Yeah, but Paul Pierce, at my age, I could do what Zach LaVine did, where you throw it off the backboard and then you score.
But he was tapping it off the backboard. Like, you got to tap it on one side, bring it around, and throw the ball in.
Yeah. Well, they should have taken away anything that was in 3 feet of the basket. Maybe that would have helped Paul Pierce there. Seton O'Connor Jr. III.
Yeah, my worst of the weekend was Horse, but we just sort of went over that. Except for my favorite part of Horse was actually the seasickness that came with it, or motion sickness, because the cameras were just sort of like,
just like yours is right now.
This is crazy. Oh, look, I'm gonna shoot this.
Well, Trey Young was shooting. Like he had degree of difficulty because it was windy. At least I think it was, but it was really some shoddy camera work there.
My best dish for the weekend, in that I'll give it like a really solid effort, was SNL this weekend, trying to go Zoom. There were some pretty good moments in that. And I really liked going to Tom Hanks to do the opening monologue. It was pretty good.
Yep. And Sandman had a song as well. He'll join us coming up. Paulie, best and worst.
Best of the weekend, Jim Nantz and Tiger Woods.
Hello, friends.
Walking through the Masters last year. Tiger was unbelievable memory. He was talking about Francesco Molinari on the 12th hole, where Molinari puts it in the drink, and Tiger was telling us, all of a sudden this little breeze comes in, and the breeze is coming towards our faces, and I look at my caddy, and I look back at the guys teeing off. I'm like, boy, this could go the wrong way. I'm glad I'm not teeing off first. And Molinari puts it in the water, and they didn't want to react. You don't want to react, but inside you're like, Tiger was saying, I'm celebrating in my head, like, I got an opening here. Worst of the weekend, the XFL shuttering the doors. It does not look like it's going to ramp back up next year. Bad timing, but you have the AAF, the AAF going bad last year, and then the XFL going bad this year.
Yeah, I don't see somebody trying to do one of these leagues anytime soon, but the XFL suspended operations on Friday afternoon, and it doesn't look like there's a plan for it to come back. And unlike the American Alliance of Football, the XFL appeared to be on solid footing. It seemed like it had a better plan. It was better run. The AAF did not have a good infrastructure there, but, like other businesses, couldn't survive the pandemic here, and probably is the end of the XFL. And it'll go down as an admirable experiment, but much better than the He Hate Me version. That was back in 2001. I like the in-game interviews. I thought that was interesting. I like the open communications. And I think that that's something that the NFL certainly monitored, and I don't know if you can implement that. But, the truth is spring football is always going to be challenging. Now, the USFL had success back in the 80s because they paid big stars to play in the USFL. But that couldn't last because they had a quicker timetable where they wanted to challenge the NFL or have some teams get absorbed by the NFL. Because I looked at the USFL the way I did the ABA. They did some fun things, and you had some star power, and I thought a couple of those teams were going to be brought into the NFL. But, a 3-year window, you want to speed this up because everybody wants to make their money or get their money back. But the two experiments failed, and I'm sure one day somebody else will try. I know that we love football, but we like good football. And if you have something that's a feeder system, and it looked like the XFL had figured that out. They They maybe had that silent partnership with the NFL. They had networks who were carrying the games and paying them. That was another thing. The AAF didn't get money from their TV partners. It's like, hey, here's some content to fill. And that was it. Whereas the XFL, Vince McMahon put a lot of money into this. And I'm wondering, do you try it again? Did you see was it successful? I think that would be the question I would ask if I'm Vince McMahon and I walk into my soldiers and say, was this successful? And if you get a partnership with the NFL, then you're gold. You're great. I mean, we don't go out of our way to watch the CFL, and the CFL is better football than the XFL. Hot. But, it's like, oh, we got to have football and more football. I love watching the CFL. It's entertaining. But I don't hear people go, CFL's been around for decades. And it's a better quality, better product. But I don't hear anybody saying, hey, got to watch CFL. XFL, we're going to watch. We don't even know these players. You at least have established stars in the CFL. But nobody goes out of their way to go, boy, I got to watch the CFL. For some reason, the novelty of the XFL, all right, we're going to watch. And then some of the things that they did, the innovations, all right, I applaud them. But it wasn't, must-see TV. Not at all. All right, we'll take a break. Poll question, McLevin. And by the way, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, our artist, the street artist, RC, will come in. He did all the beautiful murals in the man cave back in the field house. And we're going to change over Tom Brady to Creamsicle Tom. I got a Patriots presentation on Tom Brady there. Beautiful artwork. We're going to change it over, put him in a Tampa Bay Creamsicle uniform. Yes, McLevin.
Okay, the Hour 2 poll was, which quarterback would you be more excited to draft? 51% like Justin Herbert over Tua.
Yeah. I still like the upside of Tua. Like, there's a fascination with that, but man, with those injuries follow you. I know that, and Justin Herbert, I believe, is pretty clean here. We've seen this. Albert Breer came on, and he ran down a list of quarterbacks injured in college and got injured in the pros. Like, it follows you, and that would be the biggest concern I have with Tua. Is this something where you're going to be injury prone, or is this an aberration? That's the big question I have. But I don't buy into this. He throws better than Dan Marino or Aaron Rodgers, or he's the next Drew Brees. He's not. And that's not fair to compare him to those guys, because he's not the next Drew Brees. And he doesn't throw better than Aaron Rodgers or Dan Marino. And certainly not Dan Marino when he came into the NFL. 20 after the hour. Adam Sandler will join us coming up next here on the Dan Patrick Show. You check things all the time, your email, your Instagram, but check something important for a change. Discover makes it quick and easy to check your credit, and it's free. Discover's now offering FICO credit scores. That's the score used by 90% of top lenders, and they will do that for free. Even if you're not a customer, checking your score won't hurt your credit, and you can check each month for changes there. The Discover Credit Scorecard, free for everyone. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. So this is the Walk of Fame here that we have. These are all people who contributed above and beyond. So you got Sandman Barkley, Brian Cranston, Reggie Miller, Senator McCain, Frank Calidendo, Jim Parsons. I showed you that. Now this was going to be the green room when guests came in. We have the Airstream. I bought this for my wife for her birthday, and I thought it made for a great green room for people when they come in, and then they can just sit here, and then they can wait to be summoned. And there's a bed in here, shower. But I always love this. Now I don't like to go camping, but I love the look. I think this is a great piece of art. I really do. I think it's beautiful. Sometimes we need stuffed animals, and we have that. Who knows when it'll come in handy. Got the Jason Giambi jersey put up. Goodfellas. This, to me, is one of the more amazing movie posters. Michelle Pfeiffer, obviously. He wanted to live the American dream until, I think we added one more L, the end. I don't know how that slipped by people. There's De Niro, Taxi Driver, Jay Leno autograph, my good friend Eddie Vedder, Creed, Brad Paisley. I just talked to Brad Friday night, and big Brad Paisley fan. Let's see, what else do we have down here that would have probably been better if I turned on the lights. Here's the crew at ESPN. That's all the people at ESPN that I worked with at one point. Pretty good. My scene in Longest Yard. This is Dan Patrick Show brought to you by Mercedes-AMG. Be prepared for whatever comes your way. It's the all-new GT 4-door coupe. Because life is a race, visit your local dealership for a test drive today. If you miss any of our interviews from the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave, go to the Dan Patrick Show app. Watch and listen from inside the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave. Mercedes-AMG, driving performance. Adam Sandler joining us on the program. Where are you right now?
Hello?
Sandman.
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm in my room.
Wait. What is your room?
Well, the home has several rooms, and every room I consider my room. I'm in my room.
How big is your house?
It's well, I mean, look, it's bigger than I thought. That's the first time I looked up in a while. It's huge.
Are there rooms you haven't been in yet?
Yeah.
It's that big?
That's every room that I see with a relative, I don't enter. You know what I'm saying, Danny?
Can you work it from home? Like, what are you doing now?
Yes. You know what, Danny? I don't work well from home because the children are around. So whenever I start getting the flow going, I hear somebody screaming at each other, and I stop and I go up. I go, "What the hell is happening in there?" And then she pushed me or whatever. And then I go back to thinking of some of my great jokes, and then I just I can't lock it down. I'm in a bad mood ever. I'm like, damn those kids.
Are you watching movies or shows?
Yes.
What are you watching?
Last night we watched a Steve Martin movie. We keep throwing on different movies. I keep showing old movies that I grew up with, and half of the time it works. Half the time I get, "You like this?" You know,
How about you, Danny? You been watching a lot of movies?
Yeah, I have. Well, no, I've actually been watching some TV shows. I watched Ozark. I'm watching this documentary on Sunderland, the soccer stuff. It's a Premier League. Well, they used to be in the Premier League, but it's a documentary, Sunderland Till I Die, which is pretty good. So I watched Ozark. Fleabag. Have you seen Fleabag?
I don't know Fleabag. I know it's everyone loves it. I got to see it.
Oh, my God, that woman is spectacular.
I heard. Yeah, my wife loves it. I got to see this. Miss Sam kind of misses a lot of stuff. I got to see that out. Fleabag, I'll watch. I what else? I know Ozark. I'm going to watch that too.
Do you have? Can you step outside because your phone is a little spotty here?
It's not working.
It's a little spotty here.
Okay, let me go into another.
Go out to one of your verandas or decks.
No, I'm out on the ski slope now. I got a ski slope. Yeah, Schwarzer gave me that joke one time. I was doing Letterman.
Wait, you're crapping out there too.
Jesus Christ! I'm sorry. Okay, how about this? This better?
Well, it is for right now. The first 5 seconds.
Okay, hang on. Let me stay. Phil. Okay, there it is. Yeah, maybe it's bad perception out here.
Okay. Okay, you're all right. We'll try that. You're good.
Thank you, Danny. Sorry about that.
Okay. And then I saw the songs that you did. You did Quarantine Song and Don't Touch Grandma with Jimmy Fallon.
The Quarantine Song is Dan Bula who plays.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I called Danny Bula up and I said, I've been getting a lot of requests for songs, and I said, you got any ideas? And 2 days later, the guy sends me that sucker. That's called A Good Friend.
And then Don't Touch Grandma?
That was Jimmy Fallon. Him and his writers wrote that and sent it to me. Yeah, that was fun.
Let me let the audience hear just a little bit of Don't Touch Grandma. Anything you want to say in setting this up?
Yeah, we had to record it separately, and and I was supposed to turn and look at Jimmy in the song, and when I turn and I look at nobody because he looked the same way as me. That's the only negative on that part, but the rest was great.
All right, here's a little bit of Don't Touch Grandma.
I love my grandma so much. I know she loves me too. But thanks to this stupid virus, there are some new grandma rules. Don't touch grandma, leave her alone. You can spend a quarter to call her on the phone. 'Cause grandmas like to pinch your cheeks and kiss your head and hug. But I don't want my grandma catching any super bug. So don't touch grandma, keep it to Zoom. Or learn to play canasta from across the room. Grandmas want to knit you sweaters and to bake you cookies. But you must tell your grandma, no touchy, just looky. Don't touch grandma.
That's Sandman with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, that was very nice. That was a nice thing. It's funny, and thank you, Jimmy Fallon, for writing that sucker.
Fallon can do a lot of impersonations of musicians, like he does you. He does Neil Young, I think Springsteen. Yeah. Do you think that Fallon could record? Has he ever thought of recording an album of these artists that he imitates?
Absolutely. Yeah, he could crush that. But he basically has. He's done so many on the show they could just put a compilation together. And he can. He's pretty serious when it comes to impressions, man.
Oh man. Yeah. He's good. But if you were going to be quarantined with any comedian, who would you want to be quarantined with?
100% Norm Macdonald.
Oh really? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because we've done it before. He thought an atom bomb was coming one week, so we stayed in a condo together, and he kept going, "Not yet, stay low."
Wait a minute, he actually thought it was the end of the world?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
But But no, I think I'd have fun with Norm Macdonald. I think we get along good together. We're good kind of roommates. So we give and take, you know?
Yeah, he's pretty funny. Who would be tough to be quarantined with of all the comedians?
Yeah, let's see. That's a good question. David Spade would be the moodiest. He'd be the funniest 1 second, and then the next second he'd be like, that's my toast. And I'd say, I wasn't eating it. It's Passover. And he'd say, what's Passover? And then I'd have to explain it again.
Well, plus there's no women around, too, so he'd be in a bad mood because of that as well.
That's true. That's true, man.
Did you ever work with, gosh, now I just forgot his name. Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
Did you ever do anything with Chappelle?
No, but we might do something someday. Chris Rock's been talking to me about doing a movie, the three of us. So we'll see. But I know Chappelle since he's a kid, and he was always a great kid. And I remember when I did Billy Madison, I did that with this guy Bob Simons, his producer. He's the guy who got it all going for me, and in the movies. And like a couple of years into it, we were at Bob's office in Chappelle, and I think it might have been his buddy Neil were at the office, and they were making Half Baked with Bob, and I remember just seeing how young and excited they were, just like I was young and excited.
Yeah,
so, I see Chappelle on occasion, but we've never done anything.
Yeah, I saw him. He won the Mark Twain Humanitarian or Humorist or whatever it was. It was the Mark Twain Award, and they had all those comedians that came out and paid tribute to him.
Yeah.
But the fact that he walked away didn't he go to Africa for 12 years or something?
I don't know, man. He did walk away for a while, though, and then came back and took over. Yeah, he's great. He's a good guy, funny guy, smart as hell. And I didn't see his Mark Twain thing either. That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. It's pretty good. There was some pretty funny stuff on there. Are you
Rock there?
I did not see Chris Rock on there. I saw Sarah Silverman.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah, there's a whole group of people that Common was there doing a song. Like it's a wide variety of people who paid tribute to him.
Speaking of Sarah Silverman, I was in a benefit charity poker game Saturday, and you didn't see anybody because it was on the internet, but you just saw their names and who you were playing against and how many chips they had. And Sarah Silverman was unbelievable at poker. Yeah, she was way up there on the board. She was leading the pack for a while.
But you never dated her growing up, right?
No. I knew her sister Laura she was in my class, and no, we never dated. But I knew the Silvermans very well. Very, very. My parents and Sarah and Laura's parents were good friends too. So, and yeah, they're hilarious, great people.
Do you have? Can you shoot hoops at your house?
It's funny, I can, but I haven't been. I stopped the last month. I just stopped playing because my back and knees were aching so much. So I haven't been doing. How about you, Danny? You moving around at all, or just smoking cigars?
Well, at night I smoke the cigars, but and tequila. But I got the man cave here. I got my dojo.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what I did last night? I cranked music and watched my wife stretch. She kept saying, "Come on, stretch. You need to." I kept going, "You're doing great. You're doing great. You stretch." And she was like, "God damn, you're an idiot."
And what did you crank?
I cranked. I put on Spotify pop hits. So I played the youthful tunes that were going and singing.
Never mind. You missed the joke. You're.
Oh, that's good. That was good.
Never mind.
Good. I started all my years. No one's ever called it cranking. They're always like, "What are you doing?"
So your mom never said, "Adam, what are you doing in there? Are you cranking?"
Oh, he's cranking it.
Hey, do you need a care package? We have some new T-shirts. I know that you only wear T-shirts. We have some. We got a Tom Brady T-shirt. It's called Tampa Bay.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Yes, I want that.
Now, do you want large or extra large?
Double X. Double X.
No.
Yes.
Have you let yourself go?
No, I didn't. I mean, what are you supposed to weigh at 5'11"?
185.
Okay, well then I let myself go.
Are you at 2 spins?
I would say if I guessed right now, I'm 208 right now, and I wear double X T-shirts because they feel better. They feel better, don't you? What do you wear? What size do you wear?
When I was, going through all my stuff, I was down to 188, and I was wearing a medium. Now I'm a large, but I'm about.
You were wearing a medium at your insanely high. You're what, 6'2"?
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing medium, and then now I'm back up to large. So I'm 198.
Was your belly button showing in the medium though?
No, I actually had like a 2-pack.
By the way, I got this new app, and I've been doing it. I'm just not eating right, but I'm doing pretty good. It's called Just 6 Weeks, and it's push-ups and sit-ups and chin-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
And man, am I knocking out the push-ups now? I can't believe it.
Yeah, but you're not doing it.
No, I am doing it.
I
don't
thought.
Understand how good I look. If I lost 60 pounds, I would look so good right now. But my arms are tight as hell. My biceps are bulging. I just get covered in a little thick skin right now.
What else are you doing today? What's the schedule today at the Sandman House?
So I'm going to talk to the Safdie brothers. We're writing right now.
Wait, another movie after?
Some other movies. I'm doing a hoop movie that I talked to you about. You're going to be part of. I'm playing a scout. I scout a kid from over in Spain.
A basketball player.
For NBA, yes,
Yeah.
with LeBron. It's cool. It's cool. LeBron's producing. And so I'm doing that, and then I'm.
How often do you talk to LeBron about this?
Me and LeBron don't talk about it. It's just a head nod. Right now, it's a head nod. but I mean, I don't want to bother LeBron right now.
He doesn't do. He's not doing anything.
Leave LeBron and let him rest. He's got stuff coming.
Do you have LeBron's number?
I don't think so. I think if I made I made a few phone calls, I could weasel at least 3 out of the 7 digits. I could get maybe a 213 or a 310. No, I'm sure I could get LeBron's number. He's a good dude. We're good to each other.
All right, so you're going to talk to the Safdie brothers. You got another project. You got another movie or two.
Oh, I got a great Zoom call going tomorrow night. You want to get on it?
With who?
It's all comedians.
No, why you shouldn't be on a call with comedians?
Yeah, PTA is going to be on it too. Who I texted yesterday. Come on the call. It's going to be fun. We're zooming away. Comedians, PTA, Teddy from Netflix, who you love.
Yeah, big deal there. Yeah, all right, maybe, but Paul Thomas Anderson, by the way, PTA for those in the inner circle there. Did he respond to you that I wanted him on the show?
I'm just gonna. No, I brought up a hello, and then he said, "Where are you? When can we talk?" And I said, "We're zooming Tuesday night, so I'm gonna bring it up Tuesday."
Sounds like it's a no, but all right. I'm gonna send you some shirts here. I don't know if I have double X, but
not a no. It's not a no. It's gonna be a yes.
I want X. I'm gonna give you XLs as motivation here.
It'll be said. Well, how about just send me one of each?
Okay.
Just one of each, but the bland color make the double X, and then the color I would love make the XL. but I've worn XL maybe in the last 25 years.
I know.
I've worn XL maybe 3 or 4 months of that. I got down to the right weight for an XL.
What pants do you have on today?
right now they're shorts, and the shorts are so really the string is broken. It sucked. I've been doing laundry here. You know I'm not good at doing. I haven't done laundry since NYU days with Hurley. And now all of a sudden I'm doing my laundry. Everything's shrunk and tight and disgusting, and people scream at me, "Let me do it. Just don't touch the machine."
I don't think your clothes are shrinking. All right.
Danny,
yeah.
Don't hang up on me yet. I'm going to tell you what happened. I did so good yesterday up until around 11:15, and then I saw this giant bag of chips, but on the front of the bag it said less, and I couldn't read what it said. It said less something, so I was like, "Hey, it must be less." So
You ate a bag of chips?
I did eat about 3/4 of it, and then I left some crumbs for the
kids. Keep cranking, and I'll talk to you soon.
Say hi to Dan Nats. I love you. And are we gonna do Zoom tomorrow night?
Yeah, sure. Put me on.
Zoom it.
I'll try
Love
to
you.
help out. All right, that's Adam Sandler. We'll take a break. Last call for phone calls right after this.
First of all, cheers, guys. Thank you guys very much, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So when you guys travel, what do you look for in a bar that you like? Like, what's your kind of bar where you're like, this is a good spot?
Cheap shots. Shark on the wall, ideally, is good.
Sharks on the wall.
Doesn't hurt.
The Midwest doesn't seem to have just one sound that it identifies, but especially in like punk rock. What do you think that's from?
A lot of bands that people think of as like Chicago or Minneapolis or whatever bands are kind of like us, where they're actually from fairly isolated, like small towns, and then they may end up kind of coalescing in a bigger city later and finding a home scene. You're just gonna play whatever the four friends play. Like it's just whatever that sounds like.
I was just having a conversation that, like, no matter what level of band you are, it's varying degrees of, like, I'm kind of getting screwed somewhere.
I mean, nobody's making a profit, but if that motive kind of creeps in, like, it just doesn't work. There's just not enough money out there, and especially, like, in punk rock. So trying to fight for a piece of a pie that just doesn't exist is silly.
Yeah, how much of a bummer would that be if it wasn't just fun to get away from your job and hang out with your best friends?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
If my expectation was to make money, I would be having a very bad time.
Yeah.
Let me set the scene. Sunday morning, 7:15 a.m., St. Paul, Minnesota. We're at Groveland Rec Center getting ready to play hockey, right?
Yeah, we met some local guys in Minnesota, said, come on down and play morning hockey with us. You're from Chicago. You must have played a lot of hockey growing up.
I watched a lot of hockey growing up. Never actually played so much.
I don't know how to skate very well. Do you?
No, I can't skate at all, no.
Uh-oh.
You ready, big boy?
I'm ready. Let's show them how East Coast hockey is done.
Let's do it. Whoa, hold my hand, hold my hand. Oh, jeez. Easy, easy, easy. Just ease in. Go. Trailer! Great goal. Hooking. Nice job. I was hooking the best I could. Oh, good hit. Good hit. Come on. Look at my teammate come and help me out. I like that he's not on my team, but he came in as the enforcer.
Old-time hockey. Where's my teammates? Oh. How do you think it went, Paulie?
I think I have a 5-minute major for hooking you deep in the undercarriage.
I think outdoor hockey is for crazy people, as we can see from this crew. Why would you guys play in a nice, warm environment instead of outside in Minnesota?
This is a warm environment. Whose cup is still out on the ice? Yours or yours?
Well, I left a few jacks out there when I deke people.
Good job. These guys did a good job.
Doesn't look right. I just like this. Am I on?
You're on.
Okay, this doesn't seem to be doing what it's supposed to do. Anyway, I'm going to pretend to dust these pictures. Look at the lovely pictures. This is my son Jordan, and this, I don't know if this is really doing anything. I'm afraid to scratch the surface. So this is me.
You're supposed to dust the frame.
I'm dusting
Like
all of it.
there you
Dusting
go.
all of it. There's the picture of
The
Jordan.
top. Don't forget the top.
And the top. And here's
That's where the dust collects.
This is the dusting of Jordan and Lindsay together. I don't know if you're getting the actual pictures that I'm dusting, but they're cute pictures. You might want to do that. So this is Jordan and Lindsay. And then the third picture leading into the bonus room here is cute little Lindsay Morgan. So we're going to make sure all these three fancy pictures in the hallway here are nice and clean. And that's what Fritzy's doing on his time off, dusting and vacuuming.
Last call for phone calls. Russell Wilson Jr. III will join us on the program tomorrow. Do you see that video of him and Sierra dancing?
Of course.
Wow. She has a gift. She's got a gift. She's really pretty spectacular when it comes to dancing. And Russ does okay. Russ just kind of is there for support, I think, with his wife. And that's the way it should be done. Last call for phone calls. Matt in South Carolina. Hey, Matt, what do you have for me today?
Hey, what's up, DP?
Hey, bud.
A little best and worst of the weekend. Worst of the weekend, just not having the Masters. ESPN put out a little monologue with Wright Thompson, who I know you love as well. Just brought a tear to my eye about all the tradition that is kind of lost right now, and really hoping we can get it back in November. Best of the weekend, the Cat Cave Derby, underdog Spiral Ham finally getting into the winner's circle. It's been a long time coming for the Ham fam, and at times like this, it's just nice to get a win.
All right, thank you, Matt. Yeah, Wright Thompson, he wrote a beautiful, beautiful article about Augusta. That dude can write. He can write. Bob in Florida. Hey, Bob, what do you have for me?
5'8", 2 cheeseburgers, under 200 pounds thanks to COVID, social isolation.
Mm-hmm.
And my best and worst of the weekend are Masters Rewind was my best. No Masters Live was my worst. And I have a suggestion for your mural.
Okay.
Us Tampa Bay residents would rather see Tom in the new Color Rush uniform rather than the creamsicle uniform. Can you make that happen?
No, but thank you, Bob. No, it's creamsicle. Tom's going into the creamsicle uniform. That's it. I made an executive decision, and I made it. People have suggested maybe having Tom Brady in a Tampa Bay T-shirt instead of a football uniform. We start the mural tomorrow with Tom Brady in the creamsicle uniform. Paulie, this day in sports history?
Got a few. Jack Nicklaus on this date at age 46 won the Masters. 1997, Eldrick Tiger Woods won the Masters at age 21. And Seton has something for this day in history.
20 years ago today, it was when Metallica sued Napster over the rights of downloading music. Think of how crazy the reaction to that was then versus what we're living in now. Wild.
Napster. Final results of the poll question, McLevin.
Who would you be more excited about, Tua or Herbert? 54% said Tua.
All right. Fritzy, what did you learn on today's program?
The Sandman would pick Norm Macdonald, the comedian he'd most enjoy being quarantined with.
All right. McLevin?
Sounds like the Bengals, according to Zach Taylor, are going to take Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it feels like that. Unless, look, leave your options open. Seton O'Connor.
Sandman's going to be shredded in just 6 weeks.
I don't think so. Paulie, what did you learn today?
Travis Kelce has nothing to do today.
Todd, what did I learn on today's program?
We all learned Travis Kelce thinks Pat will ultimately be making $50 million a year.
All right. What we learned brought to you by LegalZoom. No matter what happens, you want to make sure your loved ones are taken care of. That's why LegalZoom has made it easy to set up the right estate plan without leaving your home. Take care of your family today with the right estate plan at LegalZoom.com. Thanks for the phone calls, emails, tweets, all around support. Those watching, those listening. Tomorrow on the program, the Seahawks quarterback, Russell Wilson. We'll talk to you then. Be safe. Be smart.